Meeting tourists, intimidating families, or enforcing your own morality through violence, that is conservation. This is what happens when self-appointed guardians decide that the law belongs to them. 9 people have been booked, and these visuals leave us with something far more disturbing than a fight at a tourist spot. That this too is a story from our country, India. I'm Vedika. These are the headlines we're tracking here on Breaking Ground at 12 p.m. Home Minister Amit Shah chairs key meeting with South Chief Ministers. DK Shivkumar and Vijay sit next to each other amid political issues. Telangana and Puducherry Chief Ministers skip this crucial huddle. BJP slams Congress's Vande Mataram 2-stanza call, calls Congress New Muslim League, says insulting national song, Congress's only agenda. NCERT reshuffles its political science textbook panel with reports pointing to multiple RSS-linked members joining the team. Opposition attacks NCERT, says education institutes are being hijacked by the RSS. India removed security barricades outside the Pakistan High Commission in the national capital in a tit-for-tat move. The action comes after Pakistan removed barricades outside the Indian High Commission in Islamabad. Harry and Meghan are reportedly heading back to Britain this month, 6 years after stepping away from royal duties and swapping palace life for California. The Southern Zonal Council meeting is underway in Chennai, chaired by Union Minister Amit Shah, Tamil Nadu Chief Minister Joseph Vijay, Karnataka Chief Minister DK Shivkumar, Kerala Chief Minister VD Satishan, and the Andhra Pradesh Chief Minister Babu Naidu are attending. Meanwhile, in the spotlight was the Vijay DKS conversations on stage. They were sharing the stage, seated next to each other. The Puducherry Chief Minister is also not part of this meeting, and the Telangana Deputy Chief Minister is attending on behalf of Chief Minister Revanth Reddy, who is away on an overseas tour. The meeting is set to focus on water sharing development, security, disaster relief, funding and delimitation. Political attention is also on Vijay and DKS, of course, who are seated, like I said, next to each other at that conclave. Key southern issues, including the Kaveri dispute, the Mekadattu project, also could be in focus during these discussions. Our reporters now join us live. I have Vijay joining me. Along with Vijay, I have Deepak as well. I'm going to come across to you, Deepak. Ashish also joining us live. Deepak, we're going to talk about what's on the agenda. But for now, I think the key focus, Deepak, also is on the meeting between the Tamil Nadu Chief Minister and his counterpart from Karnataka, Deepak.
Well, absolutely. Several issues, isn't it, that the two states right now have at hand, and whether it will come up for discussion is the question. An official meeting as of now has not been fixed, because yesterday there were a lot of confusions about how much time this particular meeting would take, because each and every state, of course, will have its own issues to present before the centre, and then depending on the time they could have another meeting on the sidelines separately, is what we've been told, but the exact time is not fixed for that particular meeting. But they're sitting side by side, and these are two states right now. If I can point out some of the issues that they have had in the recent past, it's the water sharing issue, Kaveri water sharing, especially when it's drought in Karnataka, when the rainfall isn't great. That's when the problems really arise, and in the last couple of years rains have been good. This year hasn't been the greatest because the rainfall, of course, has been much lesser, and they're hoping that the situation improves. And there has been a lot of back and forth legally that has been happening as well pertaining to this. The bigger issue here, of course, is the Mekadattu reservoir that needs to be constructed. Karnataka has always argued that Mekadattu is essential for the drinking water needs of a massive city like Bengaluru. But Tamil Nadu believes that constructing a reservoir will naturally affect the water flow that goes into Tamil Nadu, and thereby it will be injustice to their farmers, which of course has been vehemently argued against by the Karnataka governments, be it the BJP or the Congress in the past. Now, in the latest issue to really join these couple of others is the shootout that happened, Vedika, a couple of days ago in Chamarajnagar district, where 3 poachers, the forest departments are terming them as poachers. They were shot dead. They were Tamil speaking, and many politicians in Tamil Nadu, including the Chief Minister, has been condemning the shooting, and they've been talking about compensation, whereas the Karnataka government is saying, well, mind your business, this is our jurisdiction, our administration, our law and order, we'll take care of it. Whether these will come up for discussion during this meeting, whether there'll be a scope for them to talk one-on-one, this is something that we'll really have to wait and watch.
Deepak, do stay with me. I also have Ashwin joining me along with Ashish and Vijay. Vijay, coming to you. This is a big meeting that we're seeing happening in the state. I want to understand from you what is on the agenda when it comes to the state of Tamil Nadu.
Vedika, that's right. It is a very crucial meeting as far as Tamil Nadu is concerned, as we have new government here, new Chief Minister C. Joseph Vijay here. Very importantly, Chief Minister going to highlight the funds issue which are all pending for the state Tamil Nadu. Remember, as Tamil Nadu opting for two-language policy, we have a state has pending funds, especially PM Shri funds and other disaster management related funds for the state Tamil Nadu. So Chief Minister C. Joseph Vijay will stress to release appropriate funds to the state Tamil Nadu. And also, like Deepak was mentioning about the Kaveri water and Meghatatu issue, TVK government and Chief Minister C. Joseph Vijay will highlight the Meghatatu issue, why it should not be constructed in Karnataka. So Chief Minister will highlight the what would happen to Tamil Nadu state if Meghatatu dam constructed in the Karnataka state, and also will highlight the Kaveri water disputes also. Beyond this, Chief Minister C. Joseph Vijay to highlight the drug issues in state Tamil Nadu, like importance of interstate cooperation to tackle drug trafficking between in the border of irrespective of all states, and also Kaveri and Godavari linking projects also to be highlighted by the Chief Minister C. Joseph Vijay. It is also a very important project. Very recently also, Chief Minister has written a letter to Prime Minister Narendra Modi. He will highlight Godavari Kaveri implementation, to speed the implementation of Godavari Kaveri linking project also. Beyond this, Chief Minister also likely to highlight the delimitation issue. Remember, Vedika, Chief Minister C. Joseph Vijay very recently has had written a letter to Prime Minister, like they are passed a resolution in Legislative Assembly also regarding the delimitation. So how possibly Chief Minister will flag the delimitation issue also. With
NEET also perhaps could come up, could it, Vijay?
Possibly in 2022, when the meeting, the same 30th meeting of the Southern Council meeting held in Trivandrum, the former Chief Minister M.K. Stalin pointed out saying that the NEET bill is pending with the President. So he urged Union government to give assent to the NEET bill, but now NEET exemption bill. So possibly Chief Minister will rise when speaking about the education. Very recently, Chief Minister made it clear they want education to state list from concurrent list. So possibly Chief Minister will highlight about the two-language policy and NEET issue also, Vedika.
All right, do stay with me. Ashwin also joining us along with Ashish. Ashwin, coming to you, what's on Keralam's agenda, given that interstate river water issues could be one of the top issues on the agenda today?
Very, very highly likely, because in the previous Southern Council meet, when Pinarayi Vijayan was the Chief Minister, one of the contentious issue which Kerala had raised in the 30th meet was of Mullaperiyar dam itself. But in the last meet, nothing fructified on that level. So certainly, Chief Minister V.D. Satheeshan will be definitely talking about it, because there's a bone of contention between Tamil Nadu, because Tamil Nadu want to raise the dam level to 152, while Kerala does not want it to happen, and in fact Kerala wants a separate dam. So this is some issue that is likely to be discussed. This is what we are picking up from close sources from the CMO office. The second important issue is the fast track court for crimes against women and children is something which has also been a national policy, and likely funds that has to be reached if these are implemented. This is something which Kerala will also be likely to be demanding. Also importantly, the Chief Minister is looking at a very ambitious project in Kerala, which is of having 18 ports, two major ports, which is Vizhinjam and...
I will have to interrupt you there. There is some breaking news coming in. I apologize there for jumping in. But the news coming in is the political row over Vande Mataram has intensified, with the Congress reiterating its stand on the national song. We also have Amit Shah, who has spoken out on it, I believe. in that the Home Minister has spoken out. Let's listen in.
रिजोल्यूशन को फॉलो करते हुए महान वंदे मातरम गीत के 2 ही छंद गाने का फैसला किया है। मैं इस समय पर पूरे देश को याद कराना चाहता हूं कि 1937 में कांग्रेस पार्टी ने मुस्लिम अपीसमेंट के लिए वंदे मातरम के 2 टुकड़े कर देश के विभाजन की नींव डाली थी और वहीं से 2 राष्ट्र के सिद्धांत को ताकत मिली थी और अंततोगत्वा देश का विभाजन हुआ और पाकिस्तान का जन्म हुआ था। आज जब वो ऐतिहासिक गलती को वंदे मातरम के गीत के प्रागट्य के 150वें साल में नरेंद्र मोदी सरकार ने सुधार कर बंकिम बाबू की ये अमर कृति को पूरा गीत गाकर राष्ट्रीय एकात्मता को फिर से एक बार सुदृढ़ करने का प्रयास किया है और सभी सरकारी फंक्शंस में इसको पूर्ण रूपेण गाने का जो निर्णय किया है वो निर्णय को कानूनी जामा भी पहनाया है। इसकी अवहेलना करने का कांग्रेस ने कल निर्णय किया है। कांग्रेस का ये निर्णय केवल और केवल इनकी घोर तुष्टीकरण की नीति की पुष्टि करता है। वोट बैंक के तुष्टीकरण के लिए उन्होंने स्वर्गीय बंकिम बाबू के इस अमर कृति का न केवल अपमान किया है, वो लाखों शहीदों का भी अपमान किया है जो वंदे मातरम का नारा लगाते लगाते देश की आजादी के लिए फांसी पर चढ़ गए, जिन्होंने कई साल जेल में काटे। आज कांग्रेस पार्टी 1937 का अपनी पार्टी का रिजोल्यूशन मान रही है और पार्लियामेंट के एक्ट को नकार रही है। मुझे तो बड़ा आश्चर्य है, श्री राहुल गांधी की नेतृत्व में कांग्रेस पार्टी फिर एक बार इस देश में तुष्टीकरण की राजनीति को पुरजोश तरीके से आगे बढ़ा रही है। मैं देश की जनता को अपील करना चाहता हूं कि एक बार इस देश ने गलती करी थी वंदे मातरम के 2 टुकड़े होने देने की और एक गलती के गंभीर परिणाम हमने भुगते हैं। अब देश की जनता एकजुट हो और कांग्रेस पार्टी के इस फैसले के खिलाफ आवाज बुलंद करे कि अब इस देश में तुष्टीकरण की राजनीति नहीं चलेगी। ये आजाद देश है। आजादी के 80 साल के बाद 1937 में जो फैसला कांग्रेस ने किया था, जिसको नरेंद्र मोदी जी ने सुधारा है, उसके सामने का कोई विरोध इस देश की जनता नहीं सहन करेगी। भारतीय जनता पार्टी कांग्रेस पार्टी के इस फैसले की कड़ी निंदा करती है और हम इसका जनता के बीच में और विधायी सदनों में भी पुरजोश विरोध करेंगे। कल कांग्रेस पार्टी की कार्यसमिति ने एक आश्चर्यजनक और देश विरोधी फैसला लिया है। उन्होंने अपनी पार्टी के 37 के रिजोल्यूशन को फॉलो करते हुए महान वंदे मातरम गीत के
The Congress coming under fire over its decision to stick to only the first 2 stanzas of the national song Vande Mataram, despite the government's push to sing the full version at the official events in the country. You just heard Amit Shah, the Home Minister, stating that the nation should speak up against the Congress's decision. Congress has insulted martyrs and has called this an anti-national stand. Tejshri is joining me live. Tejshri, a very, very strong worded statement coming in from the Home Minister against the Congress's stand on the national song.
Well, yes, absolutely. Very strong worded statement coming in from Union Home Minister Amit Shah over this entire controversy of the resolution passed by the Congress party of only adopting 2 stanzas of Vande Mataram in all of their official programs, and they are very much adamant about their stand throughout. However, now the BJP has been attacking, and it's this time Union Home Minister Amit Shah who himself has come out and given a statement on this entire decision of the Congress party, the resolution that has been passed. Amit Shah has been stating that it is nothing but the politics of appeasement. This won't work here. They are also saying, since all these years, just been playing the politics of appeasement, and by politicizing this entire issue, they...
All right, Tejshri, do stay with me. I have Padmaja Joshi joining me on the phone line here on Breaking Ground. Padmaja, we just heard from the Home Minister Amit Shah calling the move by the Congress anti-national.
Very important the fact that the Home Minister has reiterated that by passing a resolution in the Congress Working Committee, the Congress has in fact reiterated the impulse that it showed when the first resolution was passed, truncating Vande Mataram to only the first 2 stanzas being sung. Now, Vedika, if we just go back into the history, at that time, there were some reservations which had been expressed by the Muslim League to the entire 6 stanzas, where basically the objection was that there are references to idol worship, or that was the apprehension that was expressed. And eventually the Congress leadership decided that they did not want to antagonize anyone, and it decided to truncate it to 2 stanzas only. Now, the Home Minister's argument is that that was then, but at this time when the government has tried to right that wrong, his allegation is that it was done at that time for appeasement politics, and now when that historical wrong is being righted, by reiterating that impulse and saying that we are only going to sing the first 2 stanzas and a resolution to that effect being passed in the Congress Working Committee, the Home Minister charges that this is the same appeasement politics now has been reiterated by the Congress party, and this is being done under the leadership of Rahul Gandhi. And again, one very important point that he made was that when this was done in 1937, it had strengthened the idea of a 2-nation policy and had sowed the seeds of India's eventual partition. That is what the Home Minister charges, and he's saying that same kind of politics is now being revived in the country by the Congress. Vedika.
Also, Padmaja, you have the Congress stating that this is politics by the BJP and this is an emotional issue for the Congress. How do we see the BJP taking this forward? They've, of course, called the Congress anti-national. They've also called them a Muslim League. But I want to understand how they're going to take this forward when it comes to the Congress saying we're only going to sing the first 2 stanzas of the national song.
Politically, Vedika, it ties exactly into the kind of a narrative we have seen over the last couple of years. Remember, the Prime Minister had coined the term MNC, Maoist Muslim League Congress. The indication was that these are the kind of impulses, this is the kind of politics, which veers towards a separatist tendency, appeasement politics. That is what the Congress is trying to practice. So, see this in light of what we have seen happen in the recent past. One, the Vande Mataram issue, where the issue of Muslim League has again been revived. And it's a fact that it was objection from the Muslim League in the 1930s, which eventually the Congress had decided that you don't want to create trouble in the country, and let's sing only the first 2 stanzas. If some people have an objection to the entire Vande Mataram, the singing of entire Vande Mataram, which, by the way, till that point have been sung. Now, the second is Muslim and Maoist Congress. That's what the terminology is. And in that light, see this entire Dimagi Naxal phraseology. So you have got these 2, these 2 parts, which I suspect we are going to hear much more of when it comes to political rhetoric in the near future. Vedika.
Padmaja, do stay with me. I have Mr. Atul Patil from the Congress also joining me on the phone line. How do you respond to what the Home Minister has just said? He has said that the nation should respond to the Congress's stand. He's called your party anti-national. How do you respond?
They are simply objecting the understanding of Mahatma Gandhi, Jawaharlal Nehru, Subhash Chandra Bose, Rabindranath Tagore, that they were wrong and they were anti-national because they chose to have only 2 stanzas should be sung as a national song. Now Amit Shah tell us what has happened to the questions raised by the students of India. what has happened to the questions raised by farmers of India? What has happened to the questions raised by women in India? What has happened to the corruption in infrastructure? What has happened to the mixing of ethanol in the petrol without taking proper measures? They want to avoid this question, and that is why they are creating divide on the lines of religion.
Mr. Patil, while you're saying that they're trying to and attempting to divert the issue here, my question to you also is this, that you have the BJP stating that you're failing the patriotism and loyalty test then, as an Indian.
And the person whose ancestors were with Britishers. They were the Mubbirs of the Britishers. They have opposed 1942 Quit India movement. They have encouraged Indians to support British Army against Azad Hind Sena. These people are objecting the very people who have sacrificed their lives for Vande Mataram. These people have never sung Vande Mataram in their shakas. These are the people who oppose the Constitution of India. These are the people who oppose the tricolor as Ashubh. These are the people who have not unfurled the flag for 52 years in their headquarters where I live.
All right. And let me get Mr. Kesavan to respond to what you're saying. And Mr. Kesavan, your first response to what you just heard from the Congress here. While we just heard from the Home Minister, Mr. Amit Shah, he has said that the Congress is being anti-national by not singing the entire national song. Your response to what the Congress has just said?
The Home Minister is extremely pertinent and correct when he calls out the international mindset of the Congress party. The INC is actually the Islamabad National Congress there, and the Islamabad National Congress has the same Muslim League Jinnah mindset, which forced, the truncation of Vande Mataram in 1937. It was aided by Nehru. Everybody knew Nehru's hostility towards the Hindu faith, and Nehru's Congress, under the pressure from the Muslim League, and also the Nehru's Congress had a Jinnah mindset. Nehru led the Congress at 37. He had his way, and that mentality which, brutally cut the Vande Mataram from the original version, and they deliberately omitted the stanzas praising Hindu deities. That is the crux of the matter. The whole song had goddess Ma Durga, goddesses Ma Durga, Ma Lakshmi and Ma Saraswati being praised. But Nehru's Congress was uncomfortable with it, and they split it. Same Jinnah mindset of the Nehru Congress is Rahul Gandhi's Congress. Today, the manner in which they are opposing the full original Vande Mataram to be sung is an insult to the national song. It is also they're demeaning the sacrifices, selfless sacrifices of generations of freedom fighters who gave up their lives uttering the words Vande Mataram for the cause of our nation's independence. This is Rahul Gandhi and his Congress party are peddling the toxic communal agenda of religious appeasement. Everybody can see why they're doing it, because they're perpetrating the politics of polarization.
Okay.
And this is what they did in Kerala, trying to stop singing it. And let me ask one question to the Congress people. Look at their lies being caught red-handed. Sonia Gandhi insulted the Vande Mataram by stopping the full rendition. What did the media in charge of the Congress party say? They said, no, she didn't stop. The full version was sung, but she was trying to get a chair for Karge. And today, look at their real face. They don't want to sing the full Vande Mataram. And there was a Congress MP from Bihar called Mr. Manoj Kumar who said Sonia Gandhi stopped the singing of the Vande Mataram. So today it is proved that Sonia Gandhi insulted the Vande Mataram on Independence Day at the Congress headquarters, and the Congress media in charge is stand exposed that she was looking for a chair and there was no problem in singing the full Vande Mataram.
All right, Mr. Kesavan.
Let me reiterate this again. The Congress party is the Islamabad National Congress, and they are anti-people, and they are they are not unpatriotic, and they are against spirited nationalism.
All right, thank you for joining me on the phone line there. I'm going to go back to Tejshri. Tejshri, very quickly, if you could recap for us what the Home Minister has said. Those were strong words from him against the Congress. He, of course, has called them anti-national. But what else did he say in that statement?
Well, absolutely. As far as the statement of Union Home Minister Amit Shah is concerned, he has already once again taken us back to the year 1937 and has very categorically stated that at that particular point of time, a mistake was already made to divide Vande Mataram in two parts. And again, we will not allow the same mistake to be repeated. However, the law is passed in the Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha both. We all saw that how in this monsoon session particularly, a debate was held, discussion was held, and then the law was also passed over this. Or later on, Amit Shah also stated that this is an anti-India decision that's been taken by the Congress party in the CWC meeting, and the BJP completely condemns it. It is completely unacceptable so as to what the Congress party has been doing, and we will be taking this to the people so as to the wrongdoings of the Congress party, the anti-national mindset of the Congress party, and we have been seeing that how since morning as well other leaders of the BJP. Importantly, the BJP President Nitin Nabin has also stated that it is the Congress Muslim League now. It is the Congress Muslim League that is functioning in this manner, in the manner in which they are trying to adopt only 2 paragraphs of the national song Vande Mataram. And Amit Shah also has stated that it is not only an insult to the country but also insult to Bankim Chandra Chattopadhyay, who actually has written all these 6 stanzas. And when the parliament has adopted it, what is the problem in singing? And he has also stated that at that particular point of time as well, there was an appeasement politics. There was an appeasement politics by Nehru for adopting just 2 stanzas. We all know that the letter was written by Nehru so as to why he was not willing to include the other 4 stanzas as well. So again, it is now Rahul Gandhi who is taking forward that legacy of appeasement, is what Union Home Minister has just stated in his statement, making a very, very sharp attack on the Congress party.
With the BJP calling the Congress a Muslim League, what has been the response from the party?
When you see, the Congress is very much, clear on its stand that it is BJP who is with the mindset of anti-India, keeps on imposing or making laws in the way they want to. But the Congress party has also stated that there is no confusion so as to the decision that we have taken. Say it be what happened on, we all saw on 15th of August there in the Congress party headquarters. In this week as well, we all saw that what happened in Goa as well, a meeting that was chaired by Mallikarjun Kharge. And then in the CWC meeting, Congress party officially declaring that we'll be reciting only 2 stanzas of Vande Mataram, no matter what, because it was in 1937. At that point of time, when this decision was taken to adopt only 2 stanzas, sing only 2 stanzas, and that is what we'll be doing. And if you have to put us in jail, okay, we are all ready for it. And then you also have to file cases against Mahatma Gandhi, Jawaharlal Nehru, Subhash Chandra Bose, and other leaders of the Congress party. To which the BJP responds that it is not the Congress party that was formed, but it is not the Congress party of Gandhi. They are not following their ideology, but now this is the Congress party of Sonia Gandhi and Rahul Gandhi, who are just playing the politics of appeasement. So now a massive war of words have broken out over this entire resolution that was passed by the Congress party in its yesterday's meeting at Indira Bhavan in the evening.
H3, do stay with me. We're going to replay the Home Minister's reaction.
मैं देश की जनता को अपील करना चाहता हूं कि एक बार इस देश ने गलती करी थी वंदे मातरम के 2 टुकड़े होने देने की, और एक गलती के गंभीर परिणाम हमने भुगते हैं। अब देश की जनता एकजुट हो और कांग्रेस पार्टी के इस फैसले के खिलाफ आवाज बुलंद करे कि अब इस देश में तुष्टीकरण की राजनीति नहीं चलेगी। ये आजाद देश है। आजादी के 80 साल के बाद 1937 में जो फैसला कांग्रेस ने किया था, जिसको नरेंद्र मोदी जी ने सुधारा है, उसके सामने का कोई विरोध इस देश की जनता नहीं सहन करेगी। भारतीय जनता पार्टी कांग्रेस पार्टी के इस फैसले की कड़ी निंदा करती है और हम इसका जनता के बीच में और विधायी सदनों में भी पुरजोश विरोध करेंगे।
Manogya Loiwal also joining me live on this big political story. Manogya, after the CWC, which is the Congress Working Committee, has decided that only the first 2 stanzas of the national song will be sung at Congress events, this was expected. In the days to come, this face-off is only going to intensify further, given that today we've heard from the Home Minister himself using strong words, like I've been saying, anti-national. You have the BJP calling the Congress a Muslim League.
Well, this is just the tip of the iceberg, Vedika. I would term it this way, because this has just begun. And when the Home Minister comes on camera and states it himself, it also reflects that the party line is just going to intensify and get more stronger in days to come, especially on the issue of Vande Mataram, whether it will be played in full or whether it will be playing only two stanzas. Now, the government of India has decided it via parliament, so it comes as a decision, it comes as an act that has been accepted by the country and the nation by its representatives in the political forums and especially the parliament. Now, with the Home Minister stating it, the BJP could have chosen anyone else also to mention or make a statement about it, but making specific with the Home Minister Amit Shah mentioning it, it also categorically states on what would be the next party line. He is not just the party president, but also holds a very, very important post as the Home Minister of the country and also the Cooperation Minister of the country. And he categorically stating that there will be opposition and there will be taking it to the Vidhan Sabhas also. That itself means that this is just beginning from the top and will be going to the bottom level. And next Vidhan Sabha, I would not be surprised, would be primarily Punjab, Uttar Pradesh, and also the election bound states where this will be played on a bigger note and a bigger tangent. We need to understand that it's not just about being played on the forum stating that certain lines, and remember, the paras that have been removed are specifically about praising the motherland as a deity, as a goddess, as a beautiful goddess, and where it is stated that Tomar Pratima Godabo Mondire Mondire. So that itself says that आपकी प्रतिमा, भगवान की देवी की प्रतिमा, माता की यानी कि भारत माता की प्रतिमा को मैं हर मंदिर में रखना चाहता हूँ.
All right.
This is praising to your motherland.
Okay.
And that's where it goes as Muslim League being like an allegation of Muslim League being made towards Congress.
All right, do stay with me, Manogya. Vasudha, also political editor, NDTV, joining me live. Vasudha, I'm going to come back to you in a moment from now. Rahul Srivastav on the phone line with me. Rahul, how do you read into what the Home Minister has just said? How do you see this playing out in the coming days? Like Manogya said, this is just perhaps the tip of the iceberg when it comes to the intense face-off between the Congress and the BJP over the national song.
You see, when the BJP brought in the government brought in the legislation in Parliament, it was well known that the Congress and several other political parties will have objection to it. And I think it was, nothing underlines it better than the kind of objection that one saw at the flag hoisting at the Congress headquarters on 15th of August, when Sonia Gandhi personally could be seen visibly irritated at the fact that the full version was being played, and then she tried to intervene right in the middle. And I think now this is a new political fault line, the political fault line over the song composed by Bankim Chandra Chattopadhyay in 1875. Now the Congress, citing the October 1937 resolution in which Jawaharlal Nehru wrote to Subhash Chandra Bose, and basically claiming that the song could provoke Muslims owing to its Anandamad background. So there is a very distinct, clear reason why the Congress has an objection.
All right, Rahul, do stay with me. I'm going to get Vasudha also into this conversation. A new political fault line is what Rahul Srivastav says. But do you see this also being the big issue that the BJP will have and will take forward versus the Congress when it comes to the issues that they have been taking up in Parliament, Vasudha, be it the Ram Mandir Rao or be it the protests?
Vedika, like both Rahul and Manogya pointed out, I think both parties are trying to play to their ideological strengths.
Yes.
I'm reminded of Mallikarjun Kharge's statement in Goa recently, where he said that, what the Congress party is doing right now is the position that Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel took. There's the same position that Gandhi took. So, are you going to file an FIR against those people? So, the Congress party, like Rahul Srivastav was mentioning a few days ago, is very clear that, it has to stand by certain ideological aspects. Sonia Gandhi especially is very clear about that, which is why we saw the awkward episode that played out on the 15th of August, although Congress party has been saying that nothing of that sort happened. But the Congress party is very clear that it does not want to play out certain parts of the song, which several people have said could have communal connotations. It wants to stick to its history. It wants to stick to its historical traditions. And of course, at a time when the country is also facing protests by Gen Z, where it feels that the BJP might be on the defensive, it feels this is the best time to put forward its ideological position. On the BJP, as usual, is also very aggressive. The Home Minister himself, leading the charge from the front, and he himself saying that, this is an anti-national position and this was an opportunity for the Congress party to correct its historical mistakes. It's on predictable lines, and I only see the fault line sharpening from here on.
On predictable lines, of course, Vasudha, but also the BJP clearly digging in its heels when it comes to this controversy, given that they've had the Home Minister of the country speak out today, take on the Congress, call it anti-national. You've heard from the BJP calling the Congress a Muslim League.
That's right. Like Manogya was pointing out, Vedika, there's so much that Bengal suffered, during partition, and Vande Mataram is also reminiscent of our 1857 revolution, which for long the RSS has believed has not been really, lauded as much as the other freedom revolution that Mahatma Gandhi and others sort of spearheaded. So at one level, it's an ideological fight. It's also an attempt by the BJP to remind people of what happened to Bengal and what kind of violence the state faced, the repeated partitions that it faced, and the dangers that come with Islamic radicalism. So I think both parties are trying to play on their ideological fronts, and at some point probably it'll be left to the country to decide which is the ideology that they want to.
And that's something that the Home Minister also said, Vasudha. Manogya, bringing you in, how do you see this playing out in the days to come? In Parliament, we saw the heated face-offs when it came to the two issues of the student protests and the Ram Mandir Rao. And you had the BJP stating that the Congress and opposition MPs are not allowing the House to function. This perhaps, like Vasudha said, is also both parties playing on their ideological strengths. How do you see this panning out, given that this is something the BJP is going to dig in its heels over, this issue of the national song, talking about patriotism, talking about the Congress being anti-national?
One of the most famous authors of self-help groups and self-help books is Gabrielle Bernstein, who states that obstacles are detours in the right direction, and perhaps that's what BJP also believes, when we need to understand that it's not just about what has been happening, but also the fact that BJP has been ensuring that what they speak is also a matter of concern and is implemented on ground in the best possible way. Now, bringing to you the picture that we've been seeing and witnessing of Home Minister Amit Shah also speaking today, this also means very clearly, Vedika, that this is not going to start or end here. This is just going to intensify from here. And BJP is a party which doesn't believe in only speaking, but also believes that the results are in the hand of people.
Sure, and Manogya, hold that thought. I'm going to come back to you in a moment from now, because I have Congress's Jyotimani on the line with me. How do you respond, ma'am, to what the BJP is saying? You're being called anti-national, and I'm, of course, referring to your party here, a Muslim League, and also the Home Minister stating that the nation should respond to this call, which is extremely anti-national, that has been taken by your party. Ma'am, can you hear me? We seem to have lost the line there with Jyotimani. We'll try and reconnect with her, but go ahead, Manogya.
Well, I would state it absolutely clearly without mincing words on stating that it was always said that what Bengal thinks today, India thinks tomorrow. But when we talk about Vande Mataram, somehow what Bengal thought in last 2 centuries hasn't been reflected in the best possible way. And now with the Home Minister coming on camera and stating this is just the beginning of a more intensive battle, a political battle. And BJP, let me tell you, categorically believes that it's not just about what you say, but also what you deliver.
Manogya, apologies. I believe we have Congress's Jyotimani on the line with us now. Ma'am, my question to you when I was trying to reach out to you about a minute ago was, how do you respond to what the BJP is saying, what the Home Minister is saying? Your party has been called anti-national. Your party has been called a Muslim League for deciding to only sing the first 2 stanzas of the national song.
See, Congress party does not need any nationalist or patriotic certificate from anybody, including Mr. Amit Shah ji. First of all, people like Amit Shah ji does not know the history of India or Indian independence, because the organization they uphold, they praise, never been part of the freedom movement. We, the Congress party, sacrificed and fought along with the people of this country and got the freedom to this country. But what are the freedom we have got, what are the sacrifice we have done, it's been completely destroyed by the BJP and as well as Amit Shah ji and Modi ji. Today they want to change everything because the country is up and arm against the government. especially all the young people are very angry with the government, especially Honorable Prime Minister, against the Honorable Prime Minister. So they want to change the track. So that is how they are saying this. So we know what we are doing. We know what we are stands for. The country knows what kind of contribution and sacrifice Congress party has made. So we does not need any certificate. We don't care what they are saying.
But in the CWC meeting also, ma'am, the decision was that the first two stanzas of the Vande Mataram will be sung at Congress events. And what the Congress is also emphasizing, perhaps falling back on, is the resolution of 1937. If you could just tell us more about it.
See, the country is not born after 2014, right? So there was a tradition, there were a lot of discussion, there are people with wisdom and who have sacrificed this country so much during the freedom struggle, have took the decision of we will sing only the 2 paragraphs of Vande Mataram, that is only suit the constitution and the secular fabric of India. So that is the stand that has been followed irrespective of the party in power, including the BJP in the past. That is how we uphold the India's constitution and uphold the India's plural structure. So now suddenly BJP came and they wanted to destroy this country. They wanted to destroy the fabric of India. They wanted to destroy the idea of India. Now they are bringing these things, and they also wanted to divert the issues, as I said earlier, because there is so much anti-incumbency against the BJP government. That is why they are doing. So let's not waste time on this kind of discussion. I hope you people also have a better thing to do, because there are so much things happening in this country. This is not the issue to be discussed, because BJP is trying to do something which is not necessarily we have to fall in line with it. We will only defend the constitution, not what BJP or Amit Shah.
All right, so Jyotimani from the Congress, they're saying that this is a tactic to also divert attention from pressing issues that the Congress has been pushing inside Parliament and outside. Jyotimani, thanks for joining me on the phone line there. We have Mr. Scindia also joining us live. Your response, sir. I've asked this of Jyotimani. I'm going to ask you the same question. How do you respond to what the Home Minister has said about 30 minutes back? He has said that the national song should be played in its entirety. The Congress is anti-national, and you've also heard from the BJP accusing your party of being a Muslim League for not singing the entire song.
Amit Shah ji saying that Congress is anti-national is more than laughable. His commitment to even the issue of Vande Mataram is so sincere that he did not think it necessary to present the bill himself. When the bill was presented, apparently the Minister of State did that, and Mr. Shah persisted to shy away from the aftermath of the agitation on the 20th of July, the police brutalities, etc. So it is nothing but an attempt to take focus away from the expression of deep dissatisfaction with the system, not just the education system, that came forward through the Gen Z movement. And BJP and Mr. Shah are doing nothing more than continuing on their agenda of polarization. Where Vande Mataram is concerned, there was a special session called for it, and it was discussed threadbare. Many things that were not even in my consciousness. One was made aware of that, for one, the first 2 stanzas were written between 1873 and 1875. It was never a whole poem conceptualized by even the author at the outset. And these 2 stanzas of Vande Mataram became, let us say, the rallying point, a rallying point for the freedom struggle, where Vande Mataram, the slogan Vande Mataram, had caught on. It is only later when the Anand Mat was published that 4 more stanzas were added which alluded to religious godheads. And that is where the difference is, that you are forcing religious denominations to sing praises or deities of another godhead.
All right, thank you for joining me on the
Would you
phone line
accept
there,
it if there was...
Thank you. We get your point there. We understand what you're saying, that the Congress is against what you're calling the religious connotations of singing the entire song. You have Jyotimani from the Congress also responding to the Home Minister's charges, stating that these are tactics to deflect from the real issues on the ground that the Congress has been raising. On that note, we slip into a short break. News and updates will continue here on Breaking Ground in moments from now. Stay tuned.
हर पल मनाओ केसरी त्योहार। विमल, बोलो जुबान केसरी।
थोड़े में ज्यादा स्वाद, यही तो है इसकी खास बात। वाओ मामा, क्या स्वाद है। अरे मेरे राजा, सबका राजा आरती और मसाला, सबके हिस्से, सबके हिस्से। धूप का टुकड़ा, धूप का टुकड़ा, हमसे खेल गया, हमसे खेल गया, देश का मुखड़ा।
रिन्यू बदल रहा है इंडिया की क्लीन एनर्जी की कहानी, और इसके साथ है सूरज, हवा और पानी। रिन्यू क्लीन एनर्जी हमसे है।
आर प्योर शाही पनीर मसाला, डिलीशियस, हेल्दी एवरीडे। मीठा या नमकीन, चाहे जैसे खाओ, 100% सूजी से बनी आर प्योर वर्मिसेली, स्वादिष्ट, सेहतमंद हर रोज।
While tracking more updates coming in at this hour, a video of a tourist confronting security personnel at a checkpoint in Kargil has now gone viral. The woman was left waiting near the mini-marg checkpost in Dras after local police stopped the travel on mini-marg Zorjila Sonmarg Road. The hold-up was due to travel restrictions in place on that stretch. And in that video, she can be heard arguing with the army personnel, saying, and I quote, that we are Gen Z, we will not tolerate this, telling them your salary comes from our taxes. The video has now received massive backlash online. Take a look.
We are not tolerate this nonsense. आप लोग मुझे बताओ, आप लोग बैठोगे या नहीं बैठोगे? चलो चलो कैसे रुकेंगे? 5 घंटे हो गए, निकालो सब लोग गाड़ी और चलो। वो कश्मीर एयरपोर्ट पे नहीं उतरे। हम नहीं जाएंगे, किसी को जाने भी नहीं देंगे। हम लोग पैसे देके घूमने आते हैं या फिर ये सब टॉलरेट करने आते हैं? ताला लगा दिया इन्होंने, कश्मीरियों के साथ तो करते हैं, अब बाहर के टूरिस्टों के साथ भी कर रहे हैं। देखो इन्होंने किसी ताला लगा दिया, अपना नाम भी नहीं बताया और वहाँ चले गए। ये देखो यहाँ पे कोई भी जवाबदारी के लिए कोई नहीं बैठा है, यहाँ पर यहाँ से कोई नहीं हिलेगा। आपको जो समझना है मैंने उकसाया, आपने उकसाया पब्लिक को पूरा। हाँ मैं ठीक है, हम किसी को नहीं छोड़ेंगे। हमारे टैक्स से सबको सैलरी जाती है, हम इसीलिए टैक्स भरते हैं। ये लोग हमसे ऊपर हो गए। अब आपका जो भी हुआ था, मैंने उसकी वीडियो बनाई। अगर पार्लियामेंट तक बात नहीं गई ना, मेरा नाम बदल देना।
Well, that was the video, and NDTV's managing editor Shiv Varur has now spoken to Captain Yashika Ijtiagi, the former army officer and Kargil war veteran, to get more perspective on this very video. Listen into what she had to say.
What goes through your mind when you see this video? I'm sure you've already seen it. I have detailed the reasons why it displays a complete sense of entitlement and ignorance. But as someone who has literally defended the country in areas like this, what goes through your mind when you see someone say we are Gen Z and shout at security personnel because her car has been made to wait?
Jai Hind, Shiv. You have asked me my true thoughts when I heard the sentence, तुम्हारी तनख्वाह हमारे टैक्स पेयर के पैसे से आती है। तो let me tell everybody that कोई तनख्वाह इतनी ज्यादा नहीं होती है, कोई भी तनख्वाह कि सिपाही अपनी जान दे दे। This is purely that sense of patriotism for the nation and naam namak nishan that people go through all extremes, not tankha, not taxpayer ka paisa. And there is a dangerous cultural tendency these days towards uniformed people, probably because they are the symbol of the authority these days. And just if it needs to be challenged, the person who's standing behind the barricade is not making the decisions.
Yeah.
The person behind the barricade is simply working in operational capacity. You do not know the security threat. It was the same area where Battle of Kargil was fought. You have just mentioned Pulwama, when a car breached the convoy. Imagine if something like this would happen.
And of course, in at this time when Yatra season is on, timing before that, timing after that, we all know that this is not a time that is to be taken lightly in the valley or in the eastern Ladakh.
Correct.
And democracy gives you the right to question, of course, but it does not give you the right to speak poorly to anybody, leave alone a person in uniform.
While defense expert Major Samir Paltur, and retired in fact, also spoke with managing editor Shiv Virur for more perspective on this very story. Let's also listen into what he had to say.
I am personally offended by this woman saying, you know, my taxes pay your salary. I cannot even imagine what veterans and people in the army are feeling. And first of all, I want to commend the army officer and the soldiers over there who so calmly were dealing with a major tour. You know, I am feeling anger today at this woman's behavior. I can't imagine what you're feeling. You've served in these places.
I have served for 2 years at the Amarnath cave. So I've got...
From aboard the International Space Station, astronauts Jessica Meir and Jack Hathaway have witnessed stunning northern and southern lights. Meir described one aurora as a snake moving beneath the station with green light reflecting off its exterior. With the sun coming off its active phase, astronauts say the auroras have been especially dramatic. We leave you with these visuals.
Actually, some of the previous experiments we've grown different types of lettuces and vegetables. There are sometimes some differences with plants that grow up here without gravity.
Home Minister Amit Shah slams Congress's Vande Mataram.
केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ रे दिल झूमे देखो मतवारा हुआ रे केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ
हर पल मनाओ केसरी त्योहार विमल बोलो जुबान केसरी
थोड़े में ज्यादा स्वाद यही तो है इसकी खास बात वाओ मामा क्या स्वाद है अरे मेरे राजा
सबका राजा आरती और मसाला
सबके हिस्से
रिन्यू बदल रहा है इंडिया की क्लीन एनर्जी की कहानी और इसके साथ हैं सूरज, हवा और पानी। रिन्यू क्लीन एनर्जी हमसे है।
आर प्योर शाही पनीर मसाला, डिलीशियस, हेल्दी एवरीडे। मीठा या नमकीन, चाहे जैसे खाओ, 100% सूजी से बनी आर प्योर वर्मिसेली, स्वादिष्ट, सेहतमंद हर रोज।
While tracking more updates coming in at this hour, a video of a tourist confronting security personnel at a checkpoint in Kargil has now gone viral. The woman was left waiting near the Mini-Marg checkpost in Dras after local police stopped the travel on Mini-Marg Zorjila Sonmarg Road. The hold-up was due to travel restrictions in place on that stretch. And in that video, she can be heard arguing with the army personnel, saying, and I quote, that we are Gen Z, we will not tolerate this, telling them your salary comes from our taxes. The video has now received massive backlash online. Take a look.
We are Gen Zs. We are not tolerate this nonsense. We are not tolerate this nonsense. आप लोग मुझे बताओ, आप लोग बैठोगे या नहीं बैठोगे? चलो चलो कैसे रोकेंगे? 5 घंटे हो गए, निकालो सब लोग गाड़ी और चलो। वो कश्मीर एयरपोर्ट पे नहीं उतरे। हम नहीं जाएंगे, जाने भी नहीं देंगे। हम लोग पैसे देके यहाँ घूमने आते हैं या फिर ये सब टॉलरेट करने आते हैं? ताला लगा दिया इन्होंने, कश्मीरियों के साथ तो करते हैं, अब बाहर के टूरिस्टों के साथ भी कर रहे हैं।
देखा इन्होंने किसी ताला लगा दिया, आपको अपना नाम भी नहीं बताया और वहाँ चले गए। ये देखो यहाँ पे कोई भी जवाबदारी के लिए कोई नहीं बैठा है, यहाँ पर यहाँ से कोई नहीं हिलेगा। आपको जो समझना है समझो। मैंने उकसाया, आपने उकसाया, ओके हाँ मैं ठीक है उकसाया। हम किसी को नहीं छोड़ेंगे, हमारे टैक्स से सबको सैलरी जाती है, हम इसीलिए टैक्स भरते हैं। ये लोग हमसे ऊपर हो गए। अब आपका जो भी हुआ था मैंने उसकी वीडियो बनाई, अगर पार्लियामेंट तक बात नहीं गई ना मेरा नाम बदल देना।
Well, that was the video, and NDTV's managing editor Shiv Varur has now spoken to Captain Yashika Ijtiagi, the former army officer and Kargil war veteran, to get more perspective on this very video. Listen into what she had to say.
What goes through your mind when you see this video? I'm sure you've already seen it. I have detailed the reasons why it displays a complete sense of entitlement and ignorance. But as someone who has literally defended the country in areas like this, what goes through your mind when you see someone say we are Gen Z and shout at security personnel because her car has been made to wait?
Jai Hind, Shiv. You have asked me my true thoughts when I heard the sentence, तुम्हारी तनख्वाह हमारे टैक्स पेयर के पैसे से आती है. तो let me tell everybody that कोई तनख्वाह इतनी ज्यादा नहीं होती है, कोई भी तनख्वाह सिपाही अपनी जान दे दे. This is purely that sense of patriotism for the nation and naam namak nishan that people go through all extremes, not tankha, not taxpayer ka paisa. And there is a dangerous cultural tendency these days towards uniformed people, probably because they are the symbol of the authority these days. And just if it needs to be challenged, the person who's standing behind the barricade is not making the decisions.
Yeah.
The person behind the barricade is simply working in operational capacity. You do not know the security threat. It was the same area where Battle of Kargil was fought. You have just mentioned Pulwama, when a car breached the convoy. Imagine if something like this would happen. And of course, in at this time when Yatra season is on, timing before that, timing after that, we all know that this is not a time that is to be taken lightly in the valley or the eastern Ladakh.
Correct.
And democracy gives you the right to question, of course, but it does not give you the right to speak poorly to anybody, leave alone a person in uniform.
While defence expert Major Samir Paltur, and retired in fact, also spoke with managing editor Shiv Varur for more perspective on this very story. Let's also listen into what he had to say.
I am personally offended by this woman saying, my taxes pay your salary. I cannot even imagine what veterans and people in the army are feeling. And first of all, I want to commend the army officer and the soldiers over there who so calmly were dealing with a major tour. I am feeling anger today at this woman's behavior.
She taught them in the classroom, and police now allege that one of her own class 10 students walked into her home to steal from her and ended up stabbing her 27 times. In Telangana's Nalgonda, a 50-year-old school principal was found brutally murdered inside her home. Police say two 16-year-old students spent 5 days planning the theft. They allegedly wrecked her house, bought gloves, and knew she would have cash after collecting school fee. Then came the moment that changed everything. Police allege that Rupa Reddy recognized the student and a theft turned into a brutal murder. Investigators say she was stabbed 27 times, her phone was taken, cash was stolen, but the killer may have left behind the most chilling clue of all. Babu. That was the word Rupa Reddy, the principal, uttered while speaking to her aunt shortly before her phone went silent. Police say she used Babu for her students. That single word shifted the investigation back to her school. More than 80 people were questioned, including history sheeters. Then the police zeroed in on 2 Class 10 students, bloodstained cash and CCTV footage strengthened the case. A principal murdered in her own home, a theft that turned into a killing, and a trail that led investigators straight back to her classroom, unfortunately, to her students. I'm Vedika. This is Breaking Ground at 1 p.m. These are the headlines we're tracking at this hour. Home Minister Amit Shah slams Congress's Vande Mataram 2-stanza stand, calls Congress anti-national, says insulting national song and nation is Congress's only agenda. Also, Amit Shah chairs key meeting with South Chief Ministers. DK Shivakumar and Vijay sit next to each other amid political tensions between the two states. Telangana and Puducherry Chief Ministers skip the Home Minister's crucial huddle. NCERT reshuffles its political science textbook panel with reports pointing to multiple RSS-linked members joining the team. Opposition attacks NCERT, says educational institutes have been hijacked by the RSS. India removes security barricades outside the Pakistan High Commission in the national capital in a tit-for-tat move. The action comes after Pakistan removed barricades outside the Indian High Commission in Islamabad. And Harry and Meghan are reportedly heading back to Britain this month, 6 years after stepping away from royal duties and swapping palace life for California. The political row over Vande Mataram has intensified, with the Congress reiterating its stand on the national song. Union Home Minister Amit Shah has launched a scathing attack on the Congress and said about an hour back that the Congress opposed Vande Mataram in 1937 for appeasement politics, and now they are doing it yet again. He also urged people to unite against the Congress's move. This came after the CWC meeting in which, according to sources, a resolution was passed on the issue with a consensus to sing only the first 2 stanzas of Vande Mataram at Congress events. The party is also likely to issue a fresh statement referring to the 1937 CWC resolution. The Congress said the party would abide by the decision taken by its leadership back in 1937 and that there was no confusion over its position. You have the Congress also hitting back at Amit Shah's comment.
कांग्रेस का ये निर्णय केवल और केवल इनकी घोर तुष्टीकरण की नीति की पुष्टि करता है। वोट बैंक के तुष्टीकरण के लिए उन्होंने स्वर्गीय बंकिम बाबू के इस अमर कृति का न केवल अपमान किया है, वो लाखों शहीदों का भी अपमान किया है जो वंदे मातरम का नारा लगाते लगाते देश की आजादी के लिए फांसी पर चढ़ गए, जिन्होंने कई साल जेल में काटे। आज कांग्रेस पार्टी 1937 का अपनी पार्टी का रिजोल्यूशन मान रही है और पार्लियामेंट के एक्ट को नकार रही है। मुझे तो बड़ा आश्चर्य है, श्री राहुल गांधी की नेतृत्व में कांग्रेस पार्टी फिर एक बार इस देश में तुष्टीकरण की राजनीति को पुरजोश तरीके से आगे बढ़ा रही है। मैं देश की जनता को अपील करना चाहता हूं कि एक बार इस देश ने गलती करी थी वंदे मातरम के 2 टुकड़े होने देने की, और एक गलती के गंभीर परिणाम हमने भुगते हैं। अब देश की जनता एकजुट हो और कांग्रेस पार्टी के इस फैसले के खिलाफ आवाज बुलंद करे कि अब इस देश में तुष्टीकरण की राजनीति नहीं चलेगी। ये आजाद देश है। आजादी के 80 साल के बाद 1937 में जो फैसला कांग्रेस ने किया था, जिसको नरेंद्र मोदी जी ने सुधारा है, उसके सामने का कोई विरोध इस देश की जनता नहीं सहन करेगी। भारतीय जनता पार्टी कांग्रेस पार्टी के इस फैसले की कड़ी निंदा करती है और हम इसका जनता के बीच में और विधायी सदनों में भी पुरजोश विरोध करेंगे।
वंदे मातरम जिसका उद्घोष करते हुए हजारों क्रांतिकारी हंसते हंसते फांसी के फंदों पर झूल गए थे, वो वंदे मातरम जो भारत का गर्व है, वंदे मातरम को पूरा ना गाना ये वंदे मातरम का अपमान नहीं है, भारत माता का अपमान है। कांग्रेस की लीगी मानसिकता अब तक बदली नहीं है। 1937 में मुस्लिम लीग के दबाव में कांग्रेस ने ये फैसला लिया था कि वंदे मातरम पूरा नहीं गाएंगे। आज भी कांग्रेस भारत की संस्कृति, जीवन मूल्य, परंपराओं और जड़ों से जुड़ी नहीं है।
कांग्रेस वो कांग्रेस नहीं है जो गांधी जी का कांग्रेस था। ये कांग्रेस सोनिया गांधी का कांग्रेस है, राहुल गांधी का कांग्रेस है, जो भारत से नफरत करता है। ये सोनिया गांधी शादी के 15 साल बाद तक भारत से नफरत करती रही, भारत की नागरिकता नहीं ली। अब छटपटाने से नहीं होगा, आपके चेहरे बेनकाब हो गए हैं। जो 12 साल से आप भारत का विरोध कर रहे थे, आप केवल केरल में मुस्लिम लीग के साथ सरकार नहीं है, अब पूरे देश में आप मुस्लिम लीग बन जान, कांग्रेस मुस्लिम लीग। आप देश को तोड़ना चाहते हैं, इसीलिए ये सब हो रहा है।
सर, कांग्रेस वर्किंग कमेटी की बैठक में इस बात को दोहराया गया कि जो 1937 का वंदे मातरम पर जो रेजोल्यूशन था पहले 2 अंतरे गाने का, वो उसी का पालन करेगी कांग्रेस। अब बीजेपी के सारे नेता कह रहे हैं कि कांग्रेस नई मुस्लिम लीग है।
क्या देश के नायक कौन है? बीजेपी है इस देश का नायक। इस देश के नायक सरदार पटेल, सी राजगोपालाचारी, गुरुदेव रविन्द्रनाथ टैगोर, महात्मा गांधी, पंडित जवाहरलाल नेहरू, ये सब हैं। इनके खिलाफ जाएंगे हम, जाएं जिनको जाना है उनके खिलाफ। ये तब भी इनकी खिलाफत करते थे, अंग्रेजों के तलवे चाटते थे, आज भी कर रहे हैं। ये हैं असली देश के दुश्मन। हमें इनसे लड़ना आता है, पहले भी लड़े थे, अब भी लड़ेंगे।
आप अपनी परंपरा का पालन करें, लेकिन वो कह रहे हैं कि
अपनी परंपरा नहीं है, इस देश की संस्कृति है। इस देश की संस्कृति सबको साथ लेकर चलने की है।
बीजेपी अध्यक्ष नितिन नवीन ने कहा कि नई मुस्लिम लीग हो गई है।
अरे छोड़िए, ये संघी लोग, देश के दुश्मन, गद्दार लोग, ये हमें सर्टिफिकेट देंगे। इनको इस देश से निकालना जरूरी हो गया। अब
Muslim League on the Vande Mataram issue, sir. What is your response?
I told yesterday itself, Vande Mataram and the national anthem is an emotional thing for us. We are emotionally touched with that. Because that is, both the songs are emotionally touched with Indian freedom struggle. BJP can say anything, but because they didn't have any role in freedom struggle. Not even single BJP, somebody was there, they were totally apologized, you know that, to Britishers. Therefore, these things, leave it. They cannot question our nationalism.
अमित शाह बोल रहे हैं कि वंदे भारत पे जो कल फैसला लिया है वो देश विरोधी फैसला है। आप लोग एक बार फिर से देश में 2 तरह की परिस्थिति को डेवलप करना चाहते हैं।
यही लोग तो देश को आज़ादी दिलाए थे। हाँ। यही लोग संविधान बनाए थे। ऐसी बात करते हैं।
वो कहते हैं कि राहुल गांधी की नेतृत्व जो कांग्रेस पार्टी है वो वापस से मुस्लिम लीग बनती जा रही है।
उनके कहने से तो कांग्रेस पार्टी का कोई सर्टिफिकेट मिलेगा नहीं।
कांग्रेस वर्किंग कमेटी में कांग्रेस अध्यक्ष ने बोला और एक प्रकार से उन्होंने कांग्रेस जनों को निर्देश भी दिया कि जो 2 स्टेंजा 90 साल से हम लोग पढ़ते आए हैं, गाते आए हैं, हम वही गाएंगे। कांग्रेस से 1937 में एक रेजोल्यूशन पास हुआ था जिसमें रविन्द्रनाथ टैगोर, पंडित जवाहरलाल नेहरू, महात्मा गांधी, सुभाष चंद्र बोस, सरदार पटेल, ऐसे तमाम लोग मौजूद थे और जिन्होंने ये तय किया था कि सिर्फ 2 स्टेंजा ही पढ़ा जाएगा उसका। तो इसलिए ये हम लोग ने तय किया कल वर्किंग कमेटी में कि कांग्रेस अपने कार्यक्रम में जो परंपरा हमारी चली आ रही है 90 सालों से, हम उस परंपरा के अनुसार हम इस गीत को गाएंगे।
मैं तो
बीजेपी के अध्यक्ष को बोलूंगा कि पहले 2 स्टैंडर्ड भी वंदे मातरम ठीक ढंग से बोलने सीखिए, उसके बाद वंदे मातरम की बात कीजिए। वंदे मातरम का इनका संबंध ही क्या है? मैं तो कहूंगा सोनिया जी की तारीफ करूंगा। कांग्रेस भाई पहले वहां उसको विरोध करना चाहिए था, हो क्यों नहीं हुआ मालूम नहीं, लेकिन सोनिया जी ने ये मुद्दा लिया और खड़गे जी ने वो आगे लिया है। बहुत अच्छी बात है, ये मैं पूरा तरह से इसका समर्थन करता हूं और कांग्रेस वाला होने की वजह से मैं ये 2 स्टैंडर्ड ही बोलूंगा, उनको क्या करने का वो करने दो।
इन लोगों ने तो विरोधी थे वंदे मातरम के। नितिन नवीन को मेरे सामने आ जाए, मुझे नहीं आते पूरा, लेकिन मैं देखूंगा कागज पे और मुझे वंदे मातरम वो जितने भी है ना शुरू से लेकर अंत तक सुना दे। अभी चले, अभी मैं तैयार हूं। अब पुनः ये हिंदू मुसलमान पे आ गए, क्योंकि इनके पास बेरोजगारी, पढ़ाई लिखाई, पेपर लीक, महंगाई, काला धन, पेट्रोल डीजल, गैस सिलेंडर, इसके ऊपर जवाब नहीं है। तो स्वाभाविक है कि इनको हिंदू मुसलमान पर आना है। बेचारों को खाना नहीं पचता है।
All right, we have some breaking news coming in. This has to do with the meeting that is underway, being chaired by the Home Minister Amit Shah with the Chief Ministers of the South. We're now getting to know that the Tamil Nadu Chief Minister Vijay, while speaking during the summit, has asked for a few issues to be resolved. In those issues are, of course, the fairer fiscal federalism for high-performing states. Also, the interstate water dispute has found mention, where Vijay said respect the law, the rule of the law, and on NEET, ensure equitable admissions for states, protect southern representation in Parliament, along with NEET again protect states' equitable access to medical education. NEET 1 exam must not put southern states at a disadvantage is also what the Chief Minister of Tamil Nadu has said. Vijay, my colleague, now joins me live on the story. Very quickly, just take us through all the issues that have been raised by the Chief Minister of Tamil Nadu. We see the water issue being raised along with NEET, among other issues. Over to you, Vijay.
Vedika, that's right. As we have been reporting from morning, Chief Minister C. Joseph Vijay has highlighted the issues concerning to Tamil Nadu. Especially, he had highlighted the issue regarding NEET examination. You remember, Chief Minister C. Joseph Vijay and even Tamil Nadu government has been asking for NEET exemption. The admission to the class 12 medical seat should be based on mark from class 12. So, in a way, similar way, NEET exemption was a core issue raised by Chief Minister C. Joseph Vijay, and also regarding delimitation. Now, Chief Minister has pointed out that southern state representation, as far as Parliament is concerned, there shouldn't be southern states representation should not get affected. Remember, very recently, Chief Minister C. Joseph Vijay passed a resolution in Legislative Assembly urging the central government to freeze the number of seats to 543, and also they urged the Tamil Nadu's number of Parliament seats should not get affected. And also, very importantly, Chief Minister also highlighted, as like you mentioned, regarding the water management between two states. He had highlighted the importance of Supreme Court verdicts and Kaveri Water Management Authority. He said like joint cooperation will bring a cooperative federalism structure between all states, and also highlighted about the fiscal policy. Remember, Chief Minister has been highlighting the issue related to GST and also funds to the states. So he highlighted as the states, Tamil Nadu and other southern states working for the giving growth to the Indian development economy. So in return they should get appropriate share. So these are all the points highlighted by the Tamil Nadu Chief Minister C. Joseph Vijay. Vedika.
Stay with me. I also have political editor Vasudha joining me live. Vasudha, we just heard from our colleague Vijay there on what the Chief Minister of Tamil Nadu has said. All eyes, of course, was on the interaction between DKS and Vijay when they got to the stage. That, of course, was one moment that everyone would really want to observe. But I want to understand from you, Vasudha, when Vijay says on the interstate water disputes, respect the rule of law, is that a direct message to DKS?
Vedika, last month when we went to meet the chief minister, when we spoke to people in his government, his close advisors and people who work on policy matters with the chief minister were very clear that they wanted the centre to intervene on this matter because they felt that Karnataka was being very unfair by not really following the tribunal's orders, which is what Vijay Gopal also mentioned. But the centre also feels that this is for Karnataka and Tamil Nadu to solve on their own. And, both states have been slightly lucky because monsoons have not been that bad for both states. But at the same time, the Kuruvi farmers, certain crops that grow in Delta region, those farmers have been sort of under distress. And then there are these protesters in Karnataka who have been making a lot of noise against Tamil Nadu as well. So I think what Vijay, the chief minister, wants to do right now is also to, in some ways, bring down the noise around this so that there could be a proper dialogue over this matter. DK Shivakumar is a seasoned politician. Now, this Kaveri matter has been going on for years. And I think the chief minister is also looking for some sort of a window of opportunity where the dialogue sets in and the rhetoric goes down so that it becomes more of a technical matter and the politics around it dies down also for his own politics because Congress is part of the ruling alliance there. And I think that is why he also wants to involve the centre and he wants the centre to also take accountability for this.
Vasudha, do stay with me. We have Mr. Narayanan, TVK spokesperson, joining me on the phone line. We've just heard what the Tamil Nadu Chief Minister has said while in that meeting with the Home Minister and other Chief Ministers from the South, sir. He has also gone on to say respect the rule of law when it comes to the interstate water dispute. What is the message that your Chief Minister is sending out through this statement?
There are two things that has happened in this meet. First thing, Chief Minister has very clearly said we are going to maintain a cordial relationship with Centre, irrespective of our policy differences or with the party. For example, the Home Minister has come to the state. He made it a point to go and see him yesterday also, even though he's meeting him this morning. He extended the courtesy of the state, and that has not been the case in the past. So it shows that he wants to do whatever is right and also build a cordial relationship with the central government, irrespective of which party it is. The second thing is also sending the same message. He is level-headed in terms of we don't want to be a typical politician who creates only sensation and try and keep people at bay and tenterhooks. He has been calm, collective, and he has said that the rule of the law should take over. It has already gone to the tribunal. The Supreme Court has already given the thing. So whatever is due at a specific time, it has to be done. But he didn't keep raising, you have not done that, or not. What's gone is gone. It's water under the bridge, literally. So I think he is looking at building a good relationship with both neighbors and the centre and don't do petty politics in anything. That's what I think he's trying to do.
Mr. Narayanan, thank you for joining us here on Breaking Ground with your perspective on what the Chief Minister has said in that meeting with the Home Minister and the Chief Ministers of other southern states. More news coming in from that meeting. Karnataka Chief Minister DK Shivakumar has used the Southern Zonal Council meeting to push for three key issues: the Mekadatu project, delimitation and women's reservation. We have Deepak joining me live on the story. Deepak, just take us through what the Chief Minister has said and the issues that he has raised in that meeting.
Well, yes, some key issues have been raised by the Karnataka Chief Minister during this particular meeting. One of them, of course, being, Mekadatu, which is a key project for Bengaluru in particular, because they say that it will meet the drinking water needs. But Tamil Nadu, of course, has been objecting to this project for quite some time. Today, the Chief Minister saying, help us, we will help you, and this project will help the farmers of Tamil Nadu. I have Karnataka Chief Minister, Mr. DK Shivakumar's political secretary and Congress legislator, Mr. A.S. Ponnana, with me. A big pitch. This is something that the Chief Minister has said in the past, that, well, Mekadatu is not going to really affect the amount of water that will go to Tamil Nadu. In fact, it will help the farmers. He's also spoken about the delimitation exercise, various aspects that has been touched on upon this. Really bought this argument.
It comes as no surprise. With DK Shivakumar now being the Chief Minister of Karnataka, Mekedatu will take top priority. It has been his brainchild. In fact, I remember that we started off the Mekedatu Padayatra, one of the main programs that the Congress party in the state of Karnataka started. So it is bound to be his priority, and I am really glad and happy, and it's a proud moment for all of us in Karnataka that he has, in a conference of this stature and magnitude, brought up this issue in the presence of the Tamil Nadu Chief Minister. Our argument throughout has been, which to some extent or to a large extent has been upheld by the Supreme Court, is that this is a balancing reservoir project. Nowhere affects the rights of Tamil Nadu in any way. In fact, the water will completely flow.
But then why does the legal issue keep coming up? Because Tamil Nadu has approached the court time and again over Mekedatu. They don't seem to relent. This argument that Karnataka has been putting forth somewhere isn't echoing in Tamil Nadu.
No, Deepak, you see, we are all aware of the politics behind this. It is an emotional issue for both states. Kaveri water dispute has its own history. It has a long-running feud between the two states. So when it comes to water distribution, obviously passion and emotions take front place rather than objectivity and legal reasoning. But we have a very substantive legal argument in favor of the project, and I am sure that we will be able to push the central government as well as the courts.
So very quickly, on the sidelines of this meeting that's happening with the centre and the other chief ministers, is there going to be a separate dialogue that Chief Minister Vijay and Mr. D.K. Shivkumar plan to have somewhere through the course of the day? Because be it the encounters that have happened in Chamarajnagar, be it the Kaveri sharing, be it Mekedatu, there are multiple issues probably they could discuss one-on-one. Is this something that possibly we can look at?
I really don't think so, because more so since the Kaveri water dispute is also one of the issues right now we are confronted with, keeping in mind the drought situation in the state and the fact that they are not yielding to the Mekedatu project in the right spirit. I don't think, I'm not sure, but I don't think a one-on-one meeting is something that the Chief Minister would have planned right away. But obviously going forward, looking at what the central government has to say on these issues, I'm sure at some point in time the ice will have to break and we have to move on with these things.
But very quickly, as far as the centre is concerned, devolution of funds is something that the Chief Minister has again raked up, also raked up women's reservation.
Of course, these are all critical issues to the state centres. The devolution of funds, we have been raising it.
All right, there seems to be an audio problem there, but Deepak, they're speaking with a representative of who's very close and seen as a political aide to the Chief Minister there. Moving on now, there is some breaking news coming in. This is a significant development in the Tarun Tejpal rape case. Former Tehelka editor-in-chief Tarun Tejpal has moved the Supreme Court, challenging the Bombay High Court's verdict that upheld his conviction and 10-year prison sentence in the 2013 sexual assault case. Tejpal is seeking relief from the top court of India against both the conviction and, of course, the quantum of punishment. Remember, this comes just days after the Goa government also approached the Supreme Court seeking an enhancement of Tejpal's sentence. Aditya Rajkol joining me live. Aditya, with petitions now filed by both sides, the Supreme Court is set to examine the next legal chapter in this high-profile case. On expected lines from Tarun Tejpal, who has challenged the verdict in India's top court. It's something he had said the day the quantum of sentence also was announced.
Well, that's right, Vedika. It's a big development, but an expected one, that Tarun Tejpal was convicted of rape and sexual assault just a few days ago in this case of rape from 2013 that happened at the Think Fest organized by the Tehelka magazine at that point in time. One of the employees, a journalist, had in fact said that she had been subjected to such sexual assault and rape. It took more than 10 years for the final verdict in this case, and now Tarun Tejpal has moved the Supreme Court, and you rightly pointed out, this comes just days after the Goa government had also reached out to the Supreme Court and said that there should be a stricter punishment and more harsh punishment against the convict, against the person who has been convicted of rape in this particular case. So the case will be moving to Supreme Court, but one expects that this will not take as much time as it took in the trial court and the High Court. It will perhaps be decided in the next few months.
Aditya, thanks for joining us live. All eyes will be on the hearings that take place in India's top court, the Supreme Court, on this rape case. More news coming in. Supreme Court ruling on the fetal sex determination. The Supreme Court has said that the police cannot ordinarily register an FIR. The Supreme Court has also said that the police cannot probe sex determination offences. Appropriate authority to probe this incident when it happens is what the Supreme Court has said. The Supreme Court has ruled that the police cannot ordinarily investigate offences related to fetal sex determination under the Preconception and Prenatal Diagnostic Techniques Act of 1994. To decode this for us, I'm joined by Soumya, our correspondent. Soumya, just take us through what the Supreme Court has said on this issue.
Vedika, the Supreme Court has clarified, has given its ruling with regards to police investigation when it comes to fetal sex determination and the offences ruling and the offences related to it. It has said that police cannot ordinarily investigate offences under quote-unquote NDT Act, nor they can register an FIR. In the verdict which was delivered earlier today, the Supreme Court stated that the police cannot investigate offences related to fetal sex determination under the Preconception and Prenatal Diagnostic Techniques Act. And the court stated that the police are not the investigating agency for the purposes of this act. And with that, it also went on to reaffirm that recourse to police assistance should be avoided as far as possible. However, it did leave a place wherein the Supreme Court in its verdict said that the police may play only a supportive role as required by the appropriate authority. So there is a mention of appropriate authority in this act. This is what the Supreme Court has referred to, if at all required by the authorities, which are the appropriate authorities for such investigations. If they require, police may play a role of some support.
Thanks for joining me on the phone line there. So the Supreme Court said that the police can only have a limited and supplementary role when required by the appropriate authority, which is authorized under the Act to file complaints. The reconstitution of the NCERT panel tasked with drafting political science textbooks for grades 11 and 12 has triggered a political row. The 20-member textbook development team has been tasked with preparing the new class 11 and 12 textbooks. Among those named are Yaduna Deshpande, who has held organizational positions in the ABVP, former ABVP National Secretary Vandana Mishra, Prashant Divekar, who has been associated with the RSS-linked Janna Prabodhini, and the Congress has alleged that the BJP and RSS are attempting to influence institutions, with Congress leader Pawan Khera accusing the government of recruiting people with an RSS mindset.
एनसीईआरटी की एक नई कमेटी गठित की गई है, उसमें संघ की पृष्ठभूमि के कई लोग हैं। क्या आपके
संघी भर दिए हैं? संघियों का आपको मैं उदाहरण दूं, आप ही में से किसी एक के चैनल में परसों एक संघी ने क्या कहा था खड़गे साहब के लिए कि दलित की मानसिकता मतलब गुलामी की मानसिकता। ऐसी है ये संघ की मानसिकता। ये बनाएंगे पाठ्यक्रम।
उसको कोई आश्चर्य नहीं है। ये तो हर इंस्टीट्यूशन हमारे देश में इसको कब्जे में लाने के लिए आरएसएस, बीजेपी, संघ परिवार वो लगे हुए हैं, और जब तक कि उनको पलटकर हमारी सरकार न आए तब तक इसको झेलना पड़ेगा।
एनसीईआरटी की राजनीतिक विज्ञान की किताबें लाखों करोड़ों विद्यार्थियों के भविष्य को तय करती हैं, लेकिन जिस तरीके से पाठ्य पुस्तक विकास समिति के अंदर जो है आरएसएस और एबीवीपी के लोगों को जो है इस समिति का सदस्य बनाया जा रहा है, ये बेहद चिंताजनक है। और इस तरीके से जो है एनसीईआरटी की गुणवत्ता और शिक्षा व्यवस्था पर जो है बड़े गंभीर सवाल खड़े होते हैं। हम लोग इसका विरोध करते हैं, इसकी निंदा करते हैं। हमारी स्पष्ट मांग है कि इस समिति को तुरंत प्रभाव से जो है भंग किया जाए, और साथ ही इसके अंदर जो है एक स्वतंत्र, एक वास्तविक शिक्षा विशेषज्ञों को और राजनीतिक विद्वानों और जो कि संवैधानिक विशेषज्ञ हैं, अनुभवी लोग हैं, उनको इस समिति का सदस्य बनाया जाए। और आरएसएस को हम लोग कहना चाहते हैं, एबीपी को हम लोग कहना चाहते हैं, सरकार को हम लोग कहना चाहते हैं कि ये आपकी प्रयोगशाला नहीं है।
Political science is the study of governance. One needs to understand that it teaches you how governance works. And if you're going to bring in certain influences in this kind of subject, then there's always going to be a question mark on that. You need to check the antecedents of these people who are on this committee. Do they have any political background? Do they have any political affiliation? These mindset cannot be put onto the students, right? You need to be neutral. You need to understand that you're teaching people. See, politics and political science are two different things altogether. If you're going to bring politics into political science, then people are not going to understand what it is. You need to teach the students, the children, governance in the country. That's the problem. We do not have proper governance in our country. How systems work. I mean, simple things like, if you are going to bring in people who have affiliations to a particular group.
In news just coming in, and this has to do with the section of structures outside the Pakistan High Commission in New Delhi that was demolished after authorities found them to be beyond the mission's approved boundary. Remember, the action comes exactly 3 days after Pakistani authorities reportedly removed protective security barricade station outside the Indian High Commission in Islamabad. Let's bring to you now what sources within the government are telling NDTV. The queue liner outside the Pakistan High Commission in Delhi has been removed. This was done following action by Pakistan's side to remove parking poles outside the High Commission in Islamabad, the Indian High Commission in Islamabad, Monday. Aditya Rajkol now joining me live. Aditya, this is being seen as a response by India for what happened in Islamabad on Monday. What are your sources telling you?
Well, that's right, Vedika. This has been an harassment diplomacy by Pakistan time and again. Nothing new in this.
At least say go to, Aditya.
And Pakistan has been, in fact, continuously been, harassing Indian diplomats in the past as well. This time around on Monday, parking poles were destroyed by the Pakistani authorities and the agencies outside the Indian High Commission in Islamabad. And this time around now, in a tit-for-tat diplomacy, the Indian side has also demolished, using bulldozers, the queuing poles outside the Pakistan High Commission in New Delhi near Chanakyapuri. Now, in the past, when Ajay Bisaria was the Indian High Commissioner in Islamabad, his car used to be tailed. Several other diplomats faced the same kind of harassment, and there was continuous harassment coming in from the intelligence agencies in Pakistan against the Indian diplomats. And now it does seem that harassment era has returned again. It is the frustration of the Pakistani deep state out in open, but India's action is very much in line with what Pakistan has done, and this is being seen as a tit-for-tat move. If there is further action that will be followed by the Pakistan that goes against the Vienna Convention or against the standards of diplomacy, then there will be a counter-action by the Indian government as well.
All right, Aditya, thanks for joining us live. A quick recap. India has removed unauthorized structures and queue management barriers outside the Pakistan High Commission in New Delhi. The structures included queue liners installed near the visa section of the Pakistani mission. These structures were located on a lane outside the High Commission's approved boundary and have now been removed by Indian authorities. The action comes days after Pakistan removed security barricades and parking poles placed outside the Indian High Commission in Islamabad. The latest move is being seen in the context of the reciprocal removal of the structures outside the two diplomatic missions.
Well, in a tit-for-tat action, India has removed unauthorized structure outside the Pakistan High Commission. NDTV is present just outside the Pakistan High Commission, and these are the pictures, visuals in fact, that we are giving you. In the pictures, as you can see, that's how these are the barricades that were placed over here, and now all these barricades have been removed. Now there are windows that reads that window 1, and it also reads a Pakistani passport only. So here the visitors generally come for their passport work or any other official work related to the Pakistan High Commission, and at that given point of time there was a structure over here that has now been removed. And what we are being told is that this structure was a completely an illegal structure, and this move comes after just 3 days after, in fact, when action was taken by the Pakistani authorities in Islamabad outside Indian High Commission, where the security poles, the security barricadings were removed over there. And in my here at the backside as well, you can see that these are the visuals that we are giving you. That is also the another gate from where these barricading have been removed, and these are the pictures that we are giving you from the very gate, from the very place of Pakistani High Commission where the security barricades were placed. There was a tin shade over here that was an unauthorized structure that was illegal, which has now been removed by the Indian authorities.
We have some breaking news coming in. This has to do with the inside details from the Congress working CWC meeting that took place. What we're being told is the inside details that Rahul Gandhi, according to sources, said that Modi rule in last phase is what the senior Congress leader and leader of opposition at the Lok Sabha has said. He's also asked the Congress to stay aggressive and also has gone on to talk about freezing the Lok Sabha seats at 543 for 25 years. That was also discussed, and the Congress to demand women's quota in this term. So those are all the details that we're bringing to you from the CWC meeting that took place. Rahul Gandhi, according to sources, said that this should be the last tenure for the Prime Minister. He has said that what the sources are telling us is that Rahul Gandhi has said that this is the last phase of the Narendra Modi rule. He spoke for about 20 minutes at the Congress Working Committee meeting. Rahul Gandhi targeted the Prime Minister, stating that Modi is finished. He further remarked that an alternative to Modi is being sought within the BJP. Rahul also observed that Prime Minister Modi's rule is in its final phase and the government is completely on the back foot. According to sources, Rahul Gandhi emphasized that the Congress must remain aggressive to defeat the BJP, to defeat the NDA. The Congress Working Committee also discussed freezing the number of Lok Sabha seats at 543 for the next 25 years, a measure the party intends to demand. Additionally, it was decided that the Congress would demand reservation for women from the government during the current Lok Sabha term. We're going to get Manoranjan Bharti in moments from now to break down what else was discussed in the Congress Working Group meeting. We're bringing to you the inside details. What we have for you is what senior Congress leader and leader of the Lok Sabha, Rahul Gandhi, has said in that meeting. We believe he spoke for about 20 minutes, where Rahul Gandhi targeted the Prime Minister and stated that the Congress should be on an aggressive mode while taking on the BJP, while taking on the NDA. Manoranjan Bharti now joins me live. Bring us the inside track on the meeting.
देखिए, जैसा कि आपने कहा कि राहुल गांधी ने CWC के मीटिंग में करीब 20 मिनट का भाषण दिया। उन्होंने कई चीज़ें जो है प्रधानमंत्री को लेकर बोली। उन्होंने कहा कि बीजेपी में मोदी का विकल्प ढूंढा जा रहा है, ये जो मौजूदा सरकार है वो बैकफुट पे है, और ये भी कहा कि कांग्रेस को एग्रेसिव होने की ज़रूरत है ताकि हम उनको अगले चुनाव में हटा सकें। राहुल गांधी ने ये भी कहा कि जो है मोदी इज फिनिश्ड, ये वर्ड उन्होंने यूज़ किया वहाँ पर मीटिंग में, जो अंदर के लोगों ने हमें जानकारी दी है। तो कुल मिलाकर के एक एग्रेसिव अप्रोच राहुल गांधी ने रखा उस मीटिंग में, और ये भी कहा कि जो पिछले दिनों शायद सफलता मिली है जेएनजी के या कहें जंतर मंतर पे जो आंदोलन हुआ, उसके बाद जो है कांग्रेस उस मोमेंटम को बरकरार रखना चाहती है। दूसरी बात, राहुल गांधी ने चंदा चोरी को लेकर के कहा, और कांग्रेस कार्यसमिति में एक नया नारा दिया गया है, घर घर चोरी की बात जो है उसको लेकर के जो है पूरे उत्तर प्रदेश में जो है कांग्रेस घर घर जाएगी और लोगों को इस बारे में बताएंगी। 600 जिलों में को टारगेट किया जाएगा जहां पर कि छात्रों की समस्याएं और चंदा चोरी के बारे में नेताओं को भेजा जाएगा। और एक और महत्वपूर्ण बात ये पता चली है कि कांग्रेस ने 545 की जो लोकसभा सीट है उसको अगले 25 साल के लिए फ्रीज करने की बात कही है। यही डिमांड जो है वो डीएमके ने भी किया है। तो देखते हैं डीएमके, जो कि काफ़ी महत्वपूर्ण है, यदि ये बिल आता है डिलिमिटेशन का, तो उसके लिए कांग्रेस ने एक नया जो है आप कह सकते हैं कि पासा जो है फेंका है। अब इसका क्या होगा ये देखना पड़ेगा। जी,
Quick word on whether there was any discussion during this meeting on the national song that has become a huge political face-off between the Congress and the BJP at the moment.
इसमें यह तय हुआ कि कांग्रेस ने कहा कि आज़ादी के पहले ही एक CWC जो हुई थी, जिसमें कि महात्मा गांधी, जवाहरलाल नेहरू और सरदार पटेल शामिल थे, उसमें एक रेजोल्यूशन अडॉप्ट किया गया था, और उस रेजोल्यूशन में कहा गया था कि वंदे मातरम के 2 ही स्टेंजा गाए जाएंगे। और कांग्रेस का कहना है कि वी विल स्टिक टू दैट CWC रेजोल्यूशन, और हम कांग्रेस ने तय किया है कि वो केवल 2 ही स्टेंजा गाएंगे। और जैसा कि कांग्रेस प्रेसिडेंट मल्लिकार्जुन खड़गे मैंने 2 दिन पहले गोवा में कहा था कि सरकार चाहे तो हमें जेल भेज सकती है, लेकिन हम 2 ही स्टेंजा गाएंगे, और कांग्रेस उसी लाइन पर स्टिक कर रही है। उनका कहना है कि वी विल सिंग ओनली 2 स्टेंजा।
All right, thank you for joining us live on that story. NDTV bringing to you the inside details of the meeting. Slipping into a short break. On the other side, we come back with news from overseas. Harry and Meghan Markle are planning to return to the UK. What does that mean for the couple? We'll bring you the details being cited by the UK media in moments from now.
केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ रे, दिल झूमे देखो मतवारा हुआ रे। केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ।
हर पल मनाओ केसरी त्योहार। विमल, बोलो जुबान केसरी।
थोड़े में ज्यादा स्वाद, यही तो है इसकी खास बात। वाओ मामा, क्या स्वाद है। अरे मेरे राजा,
सबका राजा आरती और मसाला,
सबके हिस्से, सबके हिस्से। धूप का टुकड़ा, धूप का टुकड़ा हमसे खेलेगा, हमसे खेलेगा देश का मुखड़ा।
रिन्यू बदल रहा है इंडिया की क्लीन एनर्जी की कहानी, और इसके साथ है सूरज, हवा और पानी। रिन्यू क्लीन एनर्जी हमसे है।
आर प्योर शाही पनीर मसाला, डिलीशियस, हेल्दी एवरीडे। मीठा या नमकीन, चाहे जैसे खाओ, 100% सूजी से बनी आर प्योर वर्मिसेली, स्वादिष्ट, सेहतमंद हर रोज।
Well, tracking more updates coming in at this hour. A video of a tourist confronting security personnel at a checkpoint in Kargil has now gone viral. The woman was left waiting near the Mini-Marg checkpost in Dras after local police stopped the travel on Mini-Marg Zorjila Sonmarg Road. The hold-up was due to travel restrictions in place on that stretch. And in that video, she can be heard arguing with the army personnel, saying, and I quote, that we are Gen Z, we will not tolerate this, telling them your salary comes from our taxes. The video has now received massive backlash online. Take a look.
आप लोग मुझे बताओ, आप लोग बैठोगे या नहीं बैठोगे? चलो चलो कैसे रोकेंगे? 5 घंटे हो गए, निकालो सब लोग गाड़ी और चलो।
वो कश्मीर एयरपोर्ट पे नहीं उतरे।
हम नहीं जाएंगे, किसी को जाने भी नहीं देंगे। हम लोग पैसे देके यहाँ घूमने आते हैं या फिर ये सब टॉलरेट करने आते हैं? ताला लगा दिया इन्होंने, कश्मीरियों के साथ तो करते हैं, अब बाहर के टूरिस्टों के साथ भी कर रहे हैं। देखो इन्होंने किसी ताला लगा दिया, यहाँ पे अपना नाम भी नहीं बताया और वहाँ चले गए। ये देखो यहाँ पे कोई भी जवाबदारी के लिए कोई नहीं बैठा है यहाँ पर। यहाँ से कोई नहीं हिलेगा। आपको जो समझना है समझो। मैंने उकसाया,
आपने उकसाया पब्लिक को।
ओके, हाँ मैं ठीक है उकसाया। हम किसी को नहीं छोड़ेंगे। हमारे टैक्स से सबको सैलरी जाती है, हम इसीलिए टैक्स भरते हैं। ये लोग हमसे ऊपर हो गए। अब आपका जो भी हुआ था, मैंने उसकी वीडियो बनाई। अगर पार्लियामेंट तक बात नहीं गई ना, मेरा नाम बदल देना।
Well, that was the video, and NDTV's managing editor Shiv Varur has now spoken to Captain Yashika Ijtyagi, the former army officer and Kargil war veteran, to get more perspective on this very video. Listen into what she had to say.
What goes through your mind when you see this video? I'm sure you've already seen it. I have detailed the reasons why it displays a complete sense of entitlement and ignorance. But as someone who has literally defended the country in areas like this, what goes through your mind when you see someone say we are Gen Z and shout at security personnel because her car has been made to wait?
Jai Hind, Shiv. You have asked me my true thoughts when I heard the sentence, तुम्हारी तनख्वाह हमारे टैक्स पेयर के पैसे से आती है। तो let me tell everybody that कोई तनख्वाह इतनी ज्यादा नहीं होती है, कोई भी तनख्वाह, सिपाही अपनी जान दे दे. This is purely that sense of patriotism for the nation and naam namak nishan that people go through all extremes, not tankha, not taxpayer ka paisa. And there is a dangerous cultural tendency these days towards uniformed people, probably because they are the symbol of the authority these days. And just if it needs to be challenged, the person who's standing behind the barricade is not making the decisions.
Yeah.
The person behind the barricade is simply working in operational capacity. You do not know the security threat. It was the same area where Battle of Kargil was fought. You have just mentioned Pulwama when a car breached the convoy. Imagine if something like this would happen. And of course, in at this time when Yatra season is on, timing before that, timing after that, we all know that this is not a time that is to be taken lightly in the valley or in the eastern Ladakh.
Correct.
And democracy gives you the right to question, of course, but it does not give you the right to speak poorly to anybody, leave alone a person in uniform.
While defense expert Major Samir Palthur, and retired in fact, also spoke with managing editor Shivirur for more perspective on this very story. Let's also listen into what he had to say.
I am personally offended by this woman saying, you know, my taxes pay your salary. I cannot even imagine what veterans and people in the army are feeling. And first of all, I want to commend the army officer and the soldiers over there who so calmly were dealing with a major tour. You know, I am feeling anger today at this woman's behavior. I can't imagine what you're feeling. You've served in these places.
I have served for 2 years at the Amarnath cave. So I've come across thousands of...
Week after Democratic Senator Jon Ossoff publicly singled her out while criticizing Trump over his recent travel arrangements. Harp was reportedly among a small group accompanying Trump when he secretly changed planes after leaving Turkey, amid reported security concerns that has drawn fresh attention to a woman who is almost constantly by the president's side but remains relatively unknown to the wider public. She has been described by people familiar with the White House as a gatekeeper and even a comfort blanket for Donald Trump. Now, the White House has launched a fierce attack on the Democratic Senator Jon Ossoff after he questioned President Donald Trump's priorities and highlighted the president's close relationship with the aide.
He golfs and trades stocks. See, he doesn't want to do the job. He wants to build his ballroom and travel with Natalie on their apparently defenseless flying palace gifted by the Emir of Qatar.
In news just coming in, the convict in the 1984 anti-Sikh riots, Sajjan Kumar, has died. That's the news that we have for you. He was 80 when he passed away. This is the latest news coming in. We have Kumar with us on the phone line, I believe. All right, he's live with us. Kumar Kunal is live with us. Kumar, the details. Sajjan Kumar dies at the age of 80.
Just we have got this news that he was brought dead when he was in Tihar jail, and suddenly his what we are getting that he became severely ill and he was brought to the Safdarjung hospital, and the hospital sources confirmed us that he was brought dead this afternoon. So this is some news because Sajjan Kumar was not just a convict in 1984 Sikh riot case, but he was also a former Congress MP from Outer Delhi. He was a three-term MP from South Delhi. So a senior leader, a big Jat leader for Congress. So definitely he was convicted by the Delhi High Court in 1984 Sikh riot case in two separate cases. Last year only he was being convicted for life imprisonment. So this news is coming to us that he was brought dead to Safdarjung just a few minutes ago, and he is no more now.
He was convicted in multiple cases related to the 1984 anti-Sikh riots, but what are you hearing? What was the cause of death? Has that been confirmed yet? You've told us that he was rushed to the Safdarjung hospital in Delhi, where he was declared brought dead.
Yeah, what we are learning from our sources that when he was in Tihar jail, he got ill and he has to rush to the Safdarjung hospital, which is and doctors and the sources at Safdarjung hospital, they are confirming us that when he was brought to the hospital, he has no life left in him. So that much information is right now with us, and that is only information we are getting from our hospital sources. We tried to contact his family members as well. His brother Ramesh Kumar was also a former MP from South Delhi. He is also not picking up the phone. So family sources are right now we can't contact the family sources, but what we are learning from our hospital sources, they have confirmed that he was brought dead.
And Kumar, before I let you go, multiple cases against him, multiple convictions. Just take us through that before we let you go.
During 1984 riot cases, several cases pertaining to the West Delhi, especially Sultanpur Majra and other cases. Kehar Singh case was one of the most prominent cases in which he was convicted. In 2013, he was actually acquitted by the lower court. Then came 2015 when Delhi High Court, when the matter went to the Delhi High Court, he was convicted by the Delhi High Court. Again last year in one more case he was being convicted for life imprisonment. So although the police and other investigating agencies, they actually demanded a capital punishment for him, but nonetheless High Court decided that he will remain in the jail for the life term. So that was the last hearing, that was the last conviction which happened last year in 2025, and he was on a life imprisonment, and he was there in Tihar jail. So this morning only, when he became suddenly ill, he was brought to the Safdarjung hospital, and there he was confirmed dead.
All right, so that's the latest that Kumar is bringing to you. This has to do with Sajjan Kumar. He has passed away, is the latest that we have. The ex-Congress MP Sajjan Kumar, convicted in the 1984 anti-Sikhs riot cases, has died. He was rushed to hospital and he was declared dead on arrival. He was 80 when he passed away. We still have to determine how he died, but we will bring you more on that. Kumar was serving life imprisonment in Tihar jail when he was rushed to Safdarjung hospital. Sleeping to short break, news and updates will continue on the other side. Stay tuned to NDTV.
केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ रे दिल झूमे देखो मतवारा हुआ रे केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ
हर पल मनाओ केसरी त्योहार। विमल, बोलो जुबान केसरी।
थोड़े में ज्यादा स्वाद, यही तो है इसकी खास बात। वाओ मामा, क्या स्वाद है? अरे मेरे राजा,
सबका राजा आरती और मसाला।
New rules of engagement. Ambitions crossing borders. Voices refusing to wait their turn. India is chasing gears. Faster, bolder, more restless. It doesn't stop. Neither do we. NDTV, when it really matters. Pure Shahi Paneer Masala. Delicious, healthy, every day. मीठा या नमकीन, चाहे जैसे खाओ, 100% सूजी से बनी आर प्योर वर्मिसेली, स्वादिष्ट, सेहतमंद, हर रोज।
I'm in Ahmedabad's gift city today. From the lens of the regulator, how close do you think you are at this moment to achieving the dream of being Singapore, Hong Kong, New York, or London when it comes to being an international center of finance.
What are global investors looking at? Policy stability, there's legal certainty, and there's also a tax certainty. In the last 5 years, the government of India has pretty much put in place all these things. Our regulations are now benchmarked to the best in the world.
Let's take the passporting of KYC, know your customer norms. Even that doesn't seem to be as easy as a lot of international bankers expect.
We are also doing a pilot for unassisted Aadhaar face authentication for NRIs.
You've seen this model operate internationally. How far has India been able to evolve with GIFT City till this moment in time?
Started as a place for corporates, now wealth managers, individuals, private banking, a lot is happening.
Which are the instruments that you think that have now come up around GIFT City in a way that people really need to know it, and if they don't, they're missing out?
Let's say you're going to travel. Why do you want to pay a markup on your money you spend out? Right? You should be able to spend directly from your bank account, and the bank account should be ideally able to recognize the currency.
चलिए हमारे तो कुलचे आ गए, आप और मैं तो ये खा लेंगे, but all these international fancy pant HSBC type bankers, I doubt they'll be okay with these kulchas.
I agree with you that social infra बनते बनेगा. Speed काफी है बनने में. पहले तो ये कुलचे भी नहीं थे, अभी कुलचे तो बढ़िया आ गए हैं.
A world of questions. Ideas that challenge the ordinary. Conversations that connect countries and cultures. Where different worlds find common ground. NDTV World brings Nepal's ideas to the world. NDTV Anviksha, Ideas Across Borders. The Nepal Dialogue. 27th August, Kathmandu, Nepal.
Well, tracking more updates coming in at this hour, a video of a tourist confronting security personnel at a checkpoint in Kargil has now gone viral. The woman was left waiting near the Mini-Marg checkpost in Dras after local police stopped the travel on Mini-Marg Zojila Sonmarg Road. The hold-up was due to travel restrictions in place on that stretch, and in that video she can be heard arguing with the army personnel saying, and I quote, that we are Gen Z, we will not tolerate this, telling them your salary comes from our taxes. The video has now received massive backlash online. Take a look.
We are Gen Zs. We are not tolerate this nonsense. We are not tolerate this nonsense. आप तो मुझे बताओ, आप बैठोगे या नहीं बैठोगे? चलो चलो कैसे रोकेंगे? 5 घंटे हो गए, निकालो सब लोग गाड़ी और चलो.
वो कश्मीर एयरपोर्ट पे नहीं उतरे.
हम नहीं जाएंगे, किसी को जाने भी नहीं देंगे. हम लोग पैसे देके यहाँ घूमने आते हैं या फिर ये सब टॉलरेट करने आते हैं? ताला लगा दिया इन्होंने, कश्मीरियों के साथ तो करते हैं, अब बाहर के टूरिस्टों के साथ भी कर रहे हैं. देखो इन्होंने किसी ताला लगा दिया, अपना नाम भी नहीं बताया और वहां चले गए. ये देखो यहाँ पे कोई भी जवाबदारी के लिए कोई नहीं बैठा है यहाँ पर. यहाँ से कोई नहीं हिलेगा. आपको जो समझना है समझो. मैंने उकसाया.
आपने उकसाया पब्लिक को.
हाँ मैं ठीक है उकसाया. हम किसी को नहीं छोड़ेंगे. हमारे टैक्स से सबको सैलरी जाती है, हम इसीलिए टैक्स भरते हैं. ये लोग हमसे ऊपर हो गए. अब आपका जो भी हुआ था मैंने उसकी वीडियो बनाई. अगर पार्लियामेंट तक बात नहीं गई ना, मेरा नाम बदल देना.
Well, that was the video, and NDTV's managing editor Shiv Virur has now spoken to Captain Yashika Ijtyagi, the former army officer and Kargil war veteran, to get more perspective on this very video. Listen into what she had to say.
What goes through your mind when you see this video? I'm sure you've already seen it. I have detailed the reasons why it displays a complete sense of entitlement and ignorance. But as someone who has literally defended the country in areas like this, what goes through your mind when you see someone say we are Gen Z and shout at security personnel because her car has been made to wait?
Jai Hind, Shiv. You have asked me my true thoughts when I heard the sentence, तुम्हारी तनख्वाह हमारे टैक्स पेयर के पैसे से आती है. तो let me tell everybody that कोई तनख्वाह इतनी ज्यादा नहीं होती है, कोई भी तनख्वाह सिपाही अपनी जान दे दे. This is purely that sense of patriotism for the nation and naam namak nishan that people go through all extremes. Not tankha, not taxpayer ka paisa. And there is a dangerous cultural tendency these days towards uniformed people, probably because they are the symbol of the authority these days. And just if it needs to be challenged, the person who's standing behind the barricade is not making the decisions.
Yeah.
The person behind the barricade is simply working in operational capacity. You do not know the security threat. It was the same area where Battle of Kargil was fought. You have just mentioned Pulwama when a car breached the convoy. Imagine if something like this would happen. And of course, in at this time, when Yatra season is on, timing before that, timing after that, we all know that this is not a time that is to be taken lightly in the valley or the eastern Ladakh.
Correct.
And democracy gives you the right to question, of course, but it does not give you the right to speak poorly to anybody, leave alone a person in uniform.
While defence expert Major Samir Pal Thoor, and retired in fact, also spoke with Managing Editor Shiv Virur for more perspective on this very story. Let's also listen into what he had to say.
I am personally offended by this woman saying, you know, my taxes pay your salary. I cannot even imagine what veterans and people in the army are feeling. And first of all, I want to commend the army officer and the soldiers over there who so calmly were dealing with a Major Thoor. You know, I am feeling anger today at this woman's behavior. I can't imagine what you're feeling. You've served in these places.
I have served for 2 years at the Amarnath cave. So I've come across thousands or maybe lakhs of tourists. So basically what happens is, the fact check is, the weather is very unpredictable in this area, Shiv. And suddenly the clouds came in, and the defense minister and the army chief were on a sortie in helicopters to the forward posts in these areas. So they had to make an emergency landing at Gumri helipad. So because of that urgency, you know, the overall schedule, the plan, everything, the itinerary got changed. The forces were...
A very good afternoon to all our viewers. Thanks for tuning in to NDTV. This is the Southern View. For the next half hour, the top stories that really matter from the southern part of India. Joining me for this on the broadcast is my colleague Vijay from Tamil Nadu. We'll also be joined in by Ashish from Hyderabad. And of course, Ashwin from Kerala joins us on the broadcast. And very important day, viewers, today, the Southern States Conference being held in Tamil Nadu. All the chief ministers, at least most of them, attending it. And more importantly, putting forth their point of view, their issues from different parts of their states, and more importantly, a push for funds for themselves from the center. How did this dialogue go? What is each state's real wish out of this entire meeting? Will that wish be granted by the center? What are the arguments that each one of them have had? This is going to be discussed in detail, and each of our reporters from all the states, of course, are going to be bringing us up to speed. First up today, during this meeting that was held, the Karnataka Chief Minister has raked up the Mekedatu issue. He has said that Tamil Nadu should help Karnataka and Karnataka will help Tamil Nadu in turn, and the Mekedatu project in no way is going to affect the farmers. In fact, it will help the farmers of Tamil Nadu, is what he has stressed upon in this particular meeting. I'm going to go across to Vijay to give us a perspective of what Tamil Nadu's point of view here is. But before that, TVK spokesperson America in Narayanan also spoke to NDTV a little while ago. Let's listen to first what he had to say.
Chief Minister has very clearly said we are going to maintain a cordial relationship with Centre, irrespective of our policy differences or with the party. For example, the Home Minister has come to the state. He made it a point to go and see him yesterday also, even though he's meeting him this morning. He extended the courtesy of the state, and that has not been the case in the past. So it shows that he wants to do whatever is right and also build a cordial relationship with the central government, irrespective of which party it is. The second thing is also sending the same message. He is level-headed in terms of, we don't want to be a typical politician who creates only sensation and try and keep people at bay and tenterhooks. He has been calm, collective, and he has said that the rule of the law should take over.
So very quickly, I'm going to go straight across to my colleague Vijay there in Chennai. Vijay, tell me, a lot of discussions have happened in the past as well about Mekedatu. Today, in the meeting there, the Karnataka Chief Minister saying, "Help us, we'll help you." We've already seen the standpoint of Tamil Nadu legally on this. Will something change post this meeting? We've also seen the two chief ministers sit right next to each other, share a few moments where they've had conversations as well.
That's right, Deepak. This is the very first time Karnataka Chief Minister and Tamil Nadu Chief Minister had a meeting, like a meeting in the sense they sat together just a while ago during the meeting. But as far as Kaveri water issue is concerned, Chief Minister C. Joseph Vijay reiterated the state government stand, saying that as far as Tamil Nadu is concerned, the legitimacy of lower riparian states' rights should be protected. Chief Minister also highlighted the importance of implementing the Supreme Court orders and also tribunals' suggestions or recommendation to the to other states. So these are the points highlighted by Chief Minister C. Joseph Vijay. So in a way, they are reiterating like the appropriate share what Kaveri water belongs to Tamil Nadu should be released as per the Supreme Court order, and also suggestion made by the Kaveri Water Authority Management Board also. So these are the points yet again highlighted by Chief Minister C. Joseph Vijay during the meeting. He also highlighted the importance between states in cooperation to maintain the relationship between other states also. So in a way, state government, TVK government and Chief Minister has highlighted they are so far their livelihoods of lower riparian states is also important, especially farmers of Delta region are pretty much dependent on Kaveri water. So Chief Minister has highlighted the water appropriate share which belongs to Tamil Nadu should be released. So after we have to wait what could be the suggestion from the Home Minister Amit Shah also regarding the water dispute between states, Deepak.
Well, Vijay, stay with us because, as far as the Union Home Minister, Mr. Amit Shah is concerned, he was the one who chaired this meet and, he has also spoken earlier in the day, or rather put out his point of view on how this would be. But I want to really bring in all my colleagues here on this. Ashwin, Vijay, also Ashish. First, I'll come across to Ashwin. Ashwin, tell us, even as the Union Home Minister chairs this particular meet, most of the southern states, of course, also ruled by opposition parties technically, have had their share of issues, be it on delimitation, be it the issues as far as central funding is concerned. We've seen protests in the past as well. As far as Kerala is concerned, tell us what are the main demands that have been put forth or the issues that have been raised in this meeting.
Well, Deepak, if you remember the last such similar council meet that was put up, it was Pinarayi Vijayan who said he wants the high-speed train connecting Kasaragod to Thiruvananthapuram. In fact, when this was pitched in, nothing ever happened, and then eventually that has been dropped. Now, what we get to pick up from some of the people who are associated with the CMO office, because no official statement has been given that these are the demands that will be kept in front of by the state of Kerala. One thing is for certain is that the call for a cooperative federalism is something which Kerala is pitching for. Number two, there is severe debt. The debt to GSDP ratio in Kerala at currently is around 38%, and almost 80% of the amount that the state earns goes in paying salaries. So this is a situation much like what is there in Himachal Pradesh. So there has been several schemes which has not been given enough funds, including rehabilitation schemes and several other schemes, which the Kerala government will certainly pitch in for. Number two, the state has a dream project that is of connecting 18 ports. In fact, the big dream is under Operation Samudra. They want to have two major ports. One is, of course, the Vizhinjam port and the one in Kochi, and make 16 more smaller ports connecting Kerala. This is a huge project which Chief Minister has been pushing. Now, to move this project forward, definitely the union government's help is definitely required, and that is one more project which is likely to be pitched in. And of course, another important issue is the Shabri rail connecting to Sabrimala. This has also been a vexed issue that is not moving for almost 3 decades now. That also is likely to be cleared. And of course, Mullaperiyar issue with Tamil Nadu. There's an issue with the dam. Kerala does not want to raise the height of the dam, but Tamil Nadu wants to raise the height of the dam. That also is likely to be discussed today, and these are the major issues that Kerala is also looking forward. Of course, other issues are there, including women and children fast-track courts and security for women and children, and other issues will also be coming, along with drug syndicate and how to bring down the drug syndicate. Remember, Amit Shah had earlier 1 month ago mentioned that he's going to put out a massive anti-drug operation campaign across the state. So South India will be in focus, and that is also one of the big issues. Deepak.
Right, Ashwin. We'll also, of course, go to Hyderabad now. Ashish also has some inputs. He has inputs, in fact, from 2 states. What the Hyderabad government really has had to say in this particular meeting from Mr. Revanth Reddy's side, a representative being there. Also, Mr. Chandrababu Naidu as well has had his own share of demands, requests to make to the centre, and also cooperation on various issues. Ashish, there are a lot of interstate disputes. There's also a dispute between the centre and the state, demands for new projects. Tell us the demands from Andhra and Telangana.
So Andhra Pradesh has a government which is part of NDA. In fact, NDA, BJP is also sharing power in the state of Andhra Pradesh. So Andhra Pradesh Chief Minister, he represented and he put forward state-related issues in this very crucial meeting. In fact, Chandrababu Naidu suggested that there should be a bullet train corridor between Andhra Pradesh, Karnataka and Tamil Nadu. He proposed that bullet train corridor. He also suggested that all the power grid should be interlinked, as well as river linkage he primarily focused on. He pushed for immediate and urgent linkage of all the rivers. In fact, he suggested that linking state rivers like Krishna, Godavari as well as Kaveri, it will solve the water crisis issue faced by Chennai and Tamil Nadu. So Chandrababu Naidu largely focused on the upcoming projects, or suggested certain upcoming projects. If we talk about Telangana largely put forward its demand and dispute over river water sharing. Remember, Karnataka is building Almaty Dam, and its height is one subject which is creating friction between Karnataka government as well as Telangana government. However, both the government is of Congress party. Representing state government, Deputy Chief Minister Batti Vikramarka, he suggested that there should be mutual understanding and mutual cooperation while discussing and while dealing with the water sharing issue. Remember, Telangana also has water dispute with Andhra Pradesh. River Krishna as well as Godavari are the 2 important rivers which flows from Telangana to Andhra Pradesh, and there also several projects recently proposed by government of Andhra Pradesh became a friction point between Andhra Pradesh and Telangana. So these issues Deputy Chief Minister of Telangana Batti Vikramarka raised and highlighted in this meeting. Apart from that, Andhra Pradesh Reorganization Act, which was the bill and act passed by Parliament of India in 2014. Several pending issues related to the bifurcation between Andhra Pradesh and Telangana. He also highlighted these issues and suggested that Home Minister along with Chief Ministers and representative of both the states should meet together and discuss all these pending issues and resolve these issues, because state bifurcation has almost crossed 10 years and still these issues are pending. So he suggested resolution of these pending issues also.
Right, Ashish. Now I'm going to go to the man on the ground. Vijay, of course, has been covering this meet from the ground. He knows what are the meetings that happened on the sidelines. Vijay, before you tell me the demands of Tamil Nadu, the issues there that have been raised, tell us about the meetings that happened on the sidelines, because earlier in the day we saw Mr. V.D. Satishan, Mr. D.K. Shivakumar have a slight conversation. Have there been any more meetings on the sidelines? What are we expecting through the course of the day?
Deepak, that's right. Kerala Chief Minister had a meeting with Andhra Pradesh Deputy Chief Minister, and also Karnataka Chief Minister was part of that meeting. It was like a courtesy meet. That's what we're hearing from our sources inside the meeting venue. And also Kerala Chief Minister had a chat with the Tamil Nadu Chief Minister C. Joseph Vijay. So these are all the highlights just before council meeting began. These are all the highlights from the meeting, and also most expected meeting between Chief Minister C. Joseph Vijay and Karnataka Chief Minister D.K. Shivakumar has not happened, but they like we have been mentioning, like they sat next to each other during the council of meeting when the meeting started. So the videos and pictures also we saw, this is the very first time amid the tussle between the Karnataka government and state government, Tamil Nadu government over the Kaveri water issue and Meghdadu issue. So those were pictures giving hope to the two states, whether two states will come up with a cordial solution to for the benefits of both two states people. Coming to the Chief Minister C. Joseph Vijay demand, as far as we have been reporting, Chief Minister C. Joseph Vijay highlighted the NEET examination issue. He pointed out NEET examination has been affecting the rural kids as far as Tamil Nadu is concerned. So he urged the union government to give exemption for Tamil Nadu from NEET examination. He also pointed out that the admission for UG medical seat should be happen based on the class 12 marks. And also he highlighted about the importance of various interstate water issues, like we have been mentioning, highlighted the issue over Kaveri water issue, Mullai Periyar Dam, and also Meghdadu issue. He said lower riparian states legal framework should be given important, and also he pointed out that the judgment highlighted the important judgments of Supreme Court and Kaveri water management recommendation and tribunal's recommendation should be followed. The lower riparian states livelihoods are also important, so farmers and many people are dependent on the Kaveri water. He highlighted then it will give a way for a good way of relationship between the states. So, and also coming to the other point about the delimitation. Chief Minister very recently, Vijay has passed a resolution, moved a resolution in Legislative Assembly regarding the delimitation, and here also Chief Minister had pointed out saying that if delimitation based on population was carried out, it will affect southern states, especially he reiterated the same statement, like the number of seats should be freezed to 543, and also maritime and blue economy also highlighted by the Chief Minister C. Joseph Vijay, and also highlighted the importance of cluster economy across the southern states, Deepak.
Right. I think some key issues, of course, that all the states have really put forth. There will be a lot of attention that will, of course, again come as to what will really happen pertaining to the issues between Karnataka and Tamil Nadu. Kaveri, there's the Meghdadu, there's also the encounter of three people. This is something that we'll have to keep a very close track of. All these stories that matter, of course, will be presented to our viewers, here on NDTV. We are going to keep tracking all the developments from the Southern Council. Now over to my colleague Ashish. There are more developments from Andhra Pradesh there as well. Ashish, take us through the developments.
Thank you. In fact, moving from political development in this southern state meeting in Tamil Nadu, now we are heading to Andhra Pradesh. There was one shocking incident. In fact, we are reporting it's a very sad and tragic incident where a 50-year-old woman, Vanita, while she was coming out from a lift, her building lift, in fact, she died in an accident. What we have gathered from the ground from Ongole, where this accident took place in Prakasham district of Andhra Pradesh. This accident takes place on Sunday when Vanita, along with her daughter as well as grandchild, they were coming out of the lift, while a daughter and grandchild easily stepped out from the lift. This particular lady, 50-year-old Vanita, she struck in the lift as lift. That's what the local report suggests, that lift started moving suddenly, and that led she falling inside the lift, and half of the body of her remained outside the lift, and while the lift started moving, she received injuries, and she was later on on, saved by the neighbors who heard the cry, heard the scream, heard the help cry, and they rushed to rescue her. She was rescued and she was shifted to hospital. And what we have gathered that she died while undergoing treatment. This freak incident has raised several questions on lift maintenance as well as safety. Meanwhile, police has registered a case. They are investigating whether it was a kind of negligence or any kind of technical fault which led to this tragic incident in which this 50-year-old lady, Vanita, died. For more news and update now, I'll again go back to Deepak. Deepak, over to you.
Ashish. Right, Ashish, and here in Karnataka, the SIR continues to be a big bone of contention. There are over a crore people in Karnataka that have been left out of the draft list that is being prepared by the Election Commission. There's been a lot of conversation about how the process has been carried out. Even before the SIR began, we saw the Karnataka cabinet meet, raise multiple questions, and even today there are politicians, of course, especially in the Congress party, who question how the SIR process has been carried out and how many questions raised by the government here, by the Congress party, remain unanswered. Let's listen to the political tug-of-war that's really happening as far as this process here in Karnataka is concerned. Well, in fact, we'll put out those reactions, but unfortunately we're out of time on this broadcast. Thanking all my colleagues who've joined us here on the Southern View. News and updates will continue on NDTV. Don't go anywhere.
केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ रे दिल झूमे देखो मतवारा हुआ रे केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ
हर पल मनाओ केसरी त्योहार विमल बोलो जुबान केसरी
थोड़े में ज्यादा स्वाद यही तो है इसकी खास बात। वाओ मामा क्या स्वाद है। अरे मेरे राजा
सबका राजा और मसाला।
New rules of engagement. Ambitions crossing borders. Voices refusing to wait their turn. India is chasing gears. Faster, bolder, more restless. It doesn't stop. Neither do we. NDTV, when it really matters.
Pure Shahi Paneer Masala. Delicious, healthy, every day.
What seems settled for me is unfinished business. So I rewind. I pause. I reflect. I dig until what's buried stands up to be counted. Breaking ground, not just headlines, the meaning behind them. This is Breaking Ground with me, Vedika Sood.
मीठा या नमकीन चाहे जैसे खाओ 100% सूजी से बनी आर प्योर वर्मिसेली स्वादिष्ट सेहतमंद हर रोज।
A new Nepal, new possibilities, a new opportunity for regional cooperation. NDTV World brings together the voices defining the next chapter of India-Nepal relations. Nepal's Foreign Minister, Shishir Khanal, Finance Minister, Dr. Swarnim Wagle, Dr. Sashi Tharoor, actor Manisha Koirala, and Dr. Ram Madhav. Diplomacy, commerce, security, infrastructure, tourism, soft power. NDTV Anviksha, ideas across borders. The Nepal Dialogue, 27th August, Kathmandu, Nepal.
I'm in Ahmedabad's gift city today. This is Prime Minister Narendra Modi's dream of building an international financial center. Now I think we're reaching a point where the international financial operators are the ones chasing gift city.
Began, there were just about 100 registrations. Today it's close to 1,250.
Always be that tension between your aspiration for gift city and the reality of Gujarat being a dry state.
Within the regulatory framework, everything what would be available outside the state is available.
I've been seeing that Edelweiss has been doing a lot of work in and around the gift city.
I think it's like making an investment in the MF business of 20 years ago.
Okay.
And hopefully 20 years later, we can say gift is what mutual fund is today.
How has customer adoption been and how are these products which you're operating out of gift faring versus what you do outside?
We want this to be a destination for NRIs coming into India via multi-manager. We are also enabling something else, Indians investing abroad.
Across the country, he has tracked the pulse of power from Washington to Korea. Witnessed history being made in global capitals and conflict zones. Brought clarity to complex issues of national security and international affairs. Aditya Raj Kaul, covering international affairs like no one else. Only on NDTV network.
Well, tracking more updates coming in at this hour, a video of a tourist confronting security personnel at a checkpoint in Kargil has now gone viral. The woman was left waiting near the Mini-Marg checkpost in Dras after local police stopped the travel on Mini-Marg Zorjila-Sonmarg road. The hold-up was due to travel restrictions in place on that stretch. And in that video, she can be heard arguing with the army personnel saying, and I quote, that we are Gen Z, we will not tolerate this. Telling them your salary comes from our taxes. The video has now received massive backlash online. Take a look.
We are Gen Zs. We are not tolerate this nonsense. We are not tolerate this nonsense. आप लोग मुझे बताओ, आप लोग बैठोगे या नहीं बैठोगे? चलो चलो कैसे रोकेंगे? 5 घंटे हो गए, निकालो सब लोग गाड़ी और चलो. वो कश्मीर एयरपोर्ट पे नहीं उतरे. हम नहीं जाएंगे, किसी को जाने भी नहीं देंगे. हम लोग पैसे देके यहाँ घूमने आते हैं या फिर ये सब टॉलरेट करने आते हैं? ताला लगा दिया इन्होंने. कश्मीरियों के साथ तो करते हैं, अब बाहर के टूरिस्टों के साथ भी कर रहे हैं. देखो इन्होंने किसी ताला लगा दिया, आपको अपना नाम भी नहीं बताया और वहाँ चले गए. ये देखो यहाँ पे कोई भी जवाबदारी के लिए कोई नहीं बैठा है. यहाँ पर यहाँ से कोई नहीं हिलेगा. आपको जो समझना है पब्लिक को उकसाया. मैंने उकसाया. आपने उकसाया पब्लिक को. ओके, हाँ मैं ठीक है उकसाया. हम किसी को नहीं छोड़ेंगे. हमारे टैक्स से सबको सैलरी जाती है, हम इसीलिए टैक्स भरते हैं. ये लोग हमसे ऊपर हो गए. अब आपका जो भी हुआ था मैंने उसकी वीडियो बनाई. अगर पार्लियामेंट तक बात नहीं गई ना, मेरा नाम बदल देना.
Well, that was the video, and NDTV's managing editor Shiv Virur has now spoken to Captain Yashika Ijtiagi, the former army officer and Kargil war veteran, to get more perspective on this very video. Listen into what she had to say.
What goes through your mind when you see this video? I'm sure you've already seen it. I have detailed the reasons why it displays a complete sense of entitlement and ignorance. But as someone who has literally defended the country in areas like this, what goes through your mind when you see someone say we are Gen Z and shout at security personnel because her car has been made to wait?
Jai Hind, Shiv. You have asked me my true thoughts when I heard the sentence, तुम्हारी तनख्वाह हमारे टैक्स पेयर के पैसे से आती है. तो let me tell everybody that कोई तनख्वाह इतनी ज्यादा नहीं होती है, कोई भी तनख्वाह कि सिपाही अपनी जान दे दे. This is purely that sense of patriotism for the nation and naam namak nishan that people go through all extremes. Not tankha, not taxpayer ka paisa. And there is a dangerous cultural tendency these days towards uniformed people, probably because they are the symbol of the authority these days. And just, if it needs to be challenged, the person who's standing behind the barricade is not making the decisions.
Yeah.
The person behind the barricade is simply working in operational capacity. You do not know the security threat. It was the same area where Battle of Kargil was fought. You have just mentioned Pulwama when a car breached the convoy. Imagine if something like this would happen. And of course, in at this time, when Yatra season is on, timing before that, timing after that, we all know that this is not a time that is to be taken lightly in the valley or in the eastern Ladakh.
Correct.
And democracy gives you the right to question, of course, but it does not give you the right to speak poorly to anybody, leave alone a person in uniform.
While defense expert Major Samir Palthur, and retired in fact, also spoke with managing editor Shiv Virur for more perspective on this very story. Let's also listen into what he had to say.
I am personally offended by this woman saying, you know, my taxes pay your salary. I cannot even imagine what veterans and people in the army are feeling. And first of all, I want to commend the army officer and the soldiers over there who so calmly were dealing with a major tour. You know, I am feeling anger today at this woman's behavior. I can't imagine what you're feeling. You've served in these places.
I have served for 2 years at the Amarnath cave. So I've come across thousands or maybe lakhs of tourists. So basically what happens is, the fact check is, the weather is very unpredictable in this area, Shiv. And suddenly the clouds came in, and the defense minister and the army chief were on a sortie in helicopters to the forward posts in these areas. So they had to make an emergency landing at Gumri helipad. So because of that...
It is incredible. The latest episode of an NDTV podcast and a TV documentary on Operation Sindoor have triggered a state-level meltdown in Pakistan. The latest episode of NDTV's hugely popular Control Alt Defense podcast that I co-anchor with my colleague Vishnu Shom, where we interviewed the recently retired Vice Chief of the Air Staff, Air Marshal Nagesh Kapoor, has revealed extraordinary new details about some of Operation Sindoor's most sensitive missions. And those disclosures have now exploded into headlines. For the first time, official confirmation, for instance, that women fighter pilots conducted some of the airstrikes during Operation Sindoor. New details of BrahMos operations that hit Pakistani bases in the south of Pakistan. And the extraordinary dilemma over whether India should strike military targets inside Karachi city itself. More than a year after Operation Sindoor, this podcast of ours on NDTV has clearly touched a very raw nerve across the border. Pakistan's Directorate General of Inter-Services Public Relations, basically the state propaganda arm, has now issued a lengthy, furious rebuttal raging against India's account of the operation and accusing India of rewriting history. They're indicating NDTV as well. India has oftentimes been criticized for winning the battle but losing the information war. But tonight you have a fuming Pakistan triggered to the extreme by one single episode of an NDTV podcast and a TV documentary on Operation Sindoor. And that should tell you quite a bit about who has a bigger point to prove. I want to introduce my guest tonight before I run you through the highlights of what this podcast has in it that has triggered this angry reaction from Pakistan. John Spencer, who's a world-renowned war expert and also a scholar who is researching Operation Sindoor directly. Sushant Sareen, author, scholar, avid Pakistan watcher and commentator. Air Marshal R.G.K. Kapoor is former Air Officer Commanding-in-Chief of the Central Air Command. Welcome, gentlemen. Thank you very much for being with me. A request to all of you to try and keep your answers as brief as possible so I can get as many reactions as possible on everything that I'm going to show you from this podcast. The first highlight that appears to have triggered a big meltdown is about women fighter pilots participating in those airstrikes. Here's what Air Marshal Nagesh Kapoor, recently retired Vice Chief of the Air Staff, said on our podcast.
There were women pilots also who were involved, right, in an operational role. Fighter pilots I'm talking about.
Yes, they would have been, yes. We never discriminated between the fact that they were girl pilots or boy pilots. They went through the same bit of training that everyone goes through. Once they were commissioned, thereafter they went through the same grind in the squadrons that anyone would go through without any bias towards there being women or nothing of the kind. In case the corrective actions were to be taken, then they must have been taken when the CEOs and the flight commanders would pull them up by the ears to make sure that they fell in line. And so they were just another fighter air crew as far as we were concerned.
Vishnu Shom, my co-anchor and co-host on the Control All Defense podcast, is with me live for a quick word on this. Vishnu, this one official word from the Air Force that women pilots were part of the airstrikes, they flew strike missions during Operation Sindoor, has created a shockwave in Indian media and across the border.
Well, it has, wouldn't it? I mean, some of the details which the former vice chief, when he retired as vice chief just a few weeks back, are fairly startling. For starters, we now know that Bholari, and you saw an image of Bholari very briefly over there, was struck by a fighter jet, at least one of a Sukhoi 30, something that he also mentioned, operating from one of the air bases under the Southwestern Air Command. Secondly, women fighter pilots were a part of Operation Sindoor. The Indian Air Force went about it quietly. They didn't make a big, show and dance or a song and dance out of it. And this is something which just shows that barrier, call it what you want, that glass ceiling has been shattered once and for all. And the entire argument of, what happens if a woman pilot is shot down, forget about it. They've been to combat. They went to combat first in Kargil on helicopters. They've been into combat on fighter jets right now. So let's forget about that. It's not about gender. It's about capability. And that's what these women have been able to do. But the attack on Malir Cant, and this was a question which you asked the Air Marshal, how India actually went about doing that. Details about how the Southwestern Air Command targeted the radars in Arifbala, Pasrur, Chunia and elsewhere. Those were shaping operations that led up to the major strikes. These were all very major details which came out in that podcast. More details, I would hope, keep coming out a year after Op Sindoor.
Definitely will, because, we've got many more episodes of the podcast to do with those who are part of Operation Sindoor. Vishnu, thanks very much for being with me on that story that has created all these shockwaves. Now I want to play a second small chunk from the podcast, and then I'll bring my guests back in on this. How the Southwestern Air Command, which is headquartered in Gandhinagar, Gujarat, was responsible for the many BrahMos airstrikes on key targets, including something that became the face of those airstrikes during Operation Sindoor, the Bholari Air Base in Pakistan. Take a look at what he said.
And so describe that Bholari mission, sir.
What do you want me to describe there? I mean, there were aircraft that, the weapons that were used, the aircraft were to get airborne and...
BrahMos?
Yeah. So
I just wanted to say it out loud once.
Yeah, so the BrahMos was used, absolutely right.
So this is a fascinating, series of nuggets of detail. Many of these things we already knew, Air Marshal Kapoor. But here, for those who are avid war watchers, and I'm sure John will also be enthused, and so will Sushant, that now we know that some of those strikes came from the Southwestern Command's area of operations. And here we have a confirmation that Bholari, which became a kind of face of the entire airstrike series, was conducted from the Southwestern Air Command.
So if we see, first point I want to make is that I think nationally we have come out of the closet. If you see from Uri to Balakot, how we expressed ourselves, I think there is much more clarity, there is much more confidence, and there's much more faith in the leadership at the political level, with the leadership within the Air Force, to come out and clearly say. When we spoke about narrative war, this is the narrative that sets the record straight. The second point is Bholari. If you see, Bholari is right opposite Southwestern Air Command. And so the best aeroplanes would be from there. The kind of distances that we see across the border, from the border to Bholari, is the only weapon. Two weapons that could have been used were either BrahMos or Scalp. And so with Su-30s being there, BrahMos becomes the obvious choice.
Absolutely.
The confidence in BrahMos rose primarily because we had very, very good strikes in the north and the west. that is, whether it was Noor Khan, whether it was Sargodha, which paved the way for the building up of confidence in the Air Force that yes, this weapon is very accurate.
Yes.
And we can use it to the extremes of its ranges. This confidence was further built up with the kind of interceptions that were taking place by S-400.
Yeah.
So if you see over 2-3 days, the confidence in everything increased. And this confidence, now whether Pakistan had a narrative or whatever it is, the fact is that the pain was inflicted on Pakistan. And that was visible in the satellite image.
No, that's very true. Sushant, this demonstrates also a confidence in releasing, information. A few years ago, I might have thought, oh, this is very operationally sensitive. But the Air Force seems pretty confident in putting out these pieces of information that have come out for the first time in this podcast. For instance, where the BrahMos actually flew from to hit Bolari.
Yeah, Shiv, aside of that, I must still add that I think we should have come out with this information far earlier than what
I agree.
The narrative wars are not just about setting the record straight, as the Air Marshal is saying, which is correct. You need to set the record straight. But you need to set the record straight in record time, right? Otherwise, the other guy has already said what he had to say and he has done all sorts of drum beating, and their field marshal has become Trump's favorite field marshal. All of that has happened. So, one, you've been late off the mark.
Yeah.
Second, again, look, I think it was on the night of the 7th and 8th that Malir was hit, because we had a press conference the next day, and I think it was when the DGMOs were giving that press conference, they mentioned in passing Malir can't. And at that point of time, my eyebrows went up. I said, but Malir is Karachi. So on the night of the 7th and 8th, when, Indian television had gone a little berserk, and there was that Karachi has been hit and Lahore has been hit, Karachi had actually been hit.
Yes.
What are we waiting for? What was it that the people who are in charge of the narrative warfare, the information warfare, why were they sitting on this? For example, if on that night or the next morning you had declared that we have hit Karachi, Malir, because nobody in India knows Malir, right?
Correct.
So if you had said that we've hit Karachi cantonment in Malir, there would have been a lot of pressure on the Pakistanis at that point of time. Hell, the Indians have come and hit you in your commercial capital.
Correct.
So what is this, obtuseness in terms of information warfare?
And you're right, Sushant, because the information about Malir came out in that press conference only on the 10th. In fact, I have one small chunk that I want to play out for you on precisely that. Finish your point.
On the female pilots, again, I agree with the point which was being made that, look, pilots are pilots. Don't by the agenda. They're warriors. They're air warriors. Great. But look, from the psychological impact, that entire bloody fake machismo of these Punjabi Muslims, you break it in one go that there was a female pilot who came and kicked your butt. The point is that they were claiming that they had shot down a female pilot and captured a female pilot. So they knew that female pilots were involved in going and bombing them, right? Why were we being shari about it? Why are we now talking about it?
Completely
Why not?
agree.
The psychological impact on that entire fake machismo of the Pakistanis is shot down by this one fact alone.
Correct. I completely agree. And in fact, I was in Uri when this information came out, and I was the one who actually posted on social media saying, I've spoken to this pilot in question and that she is absolutely fine. There's no question of her having been shot down anywhere. John, before I come to you, I want to play out this small nugget on what Sushant was talking about the intense deliberations that occurred before the Air Force decided to target the Malir cantonment, which is the first military target being struck inside a big city, that is Karachi. Take a look at what Air Marshal Kapoor said.
We were debating actually all the time, and whether to go for this or not to go for this, because like you said, it is right in the heart of a city. And even when we took on those other radars at various air bases, when they were deployed inside an air base, we made sure that they were to a side where there were no domestic population, no domestic areas. So essentially that no civilians who had nothing to do with this war would get hurt. So there was this huge dilemma in the mind whether to go for this or not to go for this. Eventually we did. It was a very, very calculated decision.
John, very interesting, detail from the planning stages about whether or not to go ahead and strike a target inside Karachi. What did you think of that?
One, I want to thank you and Vishnu for the interview. You're helping me as I'm writing my book about Operation Sindoor with this first-person information from the Akash surface-to-air missile shooting down 2 Chinese UAVs, to confirmation on Bolari and the use of the BrahMos. I really appreciate that. On this last bit of information, actually in my research, it's showing whether it's taking 34 targets and narrowing them down to 9, and what are the criteria, is that civilian harm mitigation and deterrence impact plus a non-escalatory kind of metric is always being thought through across the tri-services. Actually, when I was in Udhampur with the Northern Command Commander, when he retaliated to Pakistan artillery shelling Indian villages, he directly targeted the guns. It's like that escalation control is in every thought of every leader that's made during these 4 historic days.
Very, very true. And this next little segment that I'm playing for you gentlemen has actually triggered a huge conversation, because it's a lot of fun. It's sensitive, but it also gives you a sense of the human aspect of real-time planning when a war is actually on. This is Air Marshal Nagesh Kapoor, who retired as Vice Chief just a couple of weeks ago, talking about the delayed confirmation of the airborne timeline to prevent an abort order from the Air Force leadership, where he says he, quote-unquote, lied to the Air Force Chief. Very fun segment. Just take a listen to this.
So there's this time that I had to kind of lie to my chief for this mission. I had to kind of not tell him the truth. I wouldn't say that I lied to him. I didn't tell him the truth. And this was knowing fully well that he was he was seeing the same picture that I was seeing in my ops room. He was seeing the same picture sitting at this time AHOC, the Air Headquarters ops room, right? So he was seeing the same picture over there, and he asked me. He said, "Caps, position of those aircraft." I said, "Sir, getting airborne now." I knew for a fact that they're not going to get airborne for the next 15 minutes. So I lied to him in as far as time was concerned. So where are they now? So I said, "Sir, half an hour from weapon launch." I knew they were not there. I knew that I had to, but I had to let them go. Those pilots had been waiting with those weapons suspended for such a long time. It would have been criminal for me not to let them go. So finally, when the weapon launched, and I told him, I said, "Sir, all gone, all aircraft returning." He said, "Tell me when they land." So these people landed, and much later thereafter, I mean, the Honorable Raksha Mantri visited us, and we were sitting and having lunch together, and the chief was on the same table also. And that is when, in front of the Honorable Raksha Mantri, I told him, I said, "Sir, I lied to you." He said, "Mujhe pata hai."
Air Marshal Kapoor, we were wondering whether we should keep that in the podcast, when it happened. But then it's such a fascinating human nugget in terms of planning. He said, "I lied to my chief about the timeline so that an abort did not happen." Make sense of this for us. This is amazing.
See, you make your plans, you make your operational plans. As the campaign goes through, you have your targets which you want to take out. And you're going by that plan, and you don't want anybody to interfere there.
Yeah.
And when you have the confidence that there is clarity of purpose, there is clarity of direction, and that you have a free hand, then you know that the offensive purpose that you are in can be exercised. The fun part is that there was no context to timeline and which wave was going. and what was the date. And so when we put that into context, he would have thought, I'm just guessing, I'm sure he would have thought that, with whatever, because it's such a clear picture in ISCCS.
Yeah.
It's crystal clear, who's taking off, where each aeroplane is, where each weapon is going. Everything is very clear.
Amazing.
And so even though he told the chief that there are 15 minutes, chief also knew at the same time. So you know that how it is playing out.
Yeah.
And the fact is that the objective that you have set out for becomes very, very important so far as you're not compromising the higher direction. So I think this was a very, very judicious decision that Nagesh took between the offensive action that would have actually been the final nail in the coffin. To not doing it where you would have you might not have been talking about Bolari or Jacob.
Yeah. Next segment, which I want to get John's view on, is on Air Marshal Kapoor talking to us about the US intelligence on the 9th of May, crucial, just a day before the ceasefire, warning that Pakistan planned to escalate using long-range and short-range ballistic missiles. Listen into this. It's the first time that this has been said.
The information had come to us from the United States, saying that and telling our leadership that from all the information that they had, Pakistan was going to up the ante, and so you could expect a massive strike. Now that strike, what could have caused it? I mean, what weapons would they have used for that kind of a strike? We were very sure that they were not flying their fighters. Because they did not fly their fighters. They hadn't flown their fighters for the past 3 or 4 days at all. Is nothing that we saw in the southwestern area of operations. They did not fly their fighters at all. So yes, it could have been. It would have been a very well educated guess to say that maybe ballistic missiles.
Yeah.
Maybe, yes.
John, with Pakistan's Air Force pretty much paralyzed, air defense paralyzed, ballistic missiles were coming next, said this US intelligence input. Have you been able to get into that in your research as well?
Absolutely. And I think the documentary mentions it as well. So we'll have a few more than one primary source, but you're right. That's the first time very clearly said in an interview. Absolutely, it comes out in the timeline, as much so as I think that missed shaping operation of hitting all the radars plays into what eventually happens, which is the overwhelming use of military force, which actually causes that de-escalation because of demonstrating so much power. Absolutely, that call from the United States has more than one person has kind of hinted at it, has mentioned it. Of course, I'll try to find both sides of that call or that information to include it in the book, but a critical moment in the timeline, and then the overwhelming nature, which is undeniable, of the response to that to make sure they know we can hit you anywhere, don't do it. I mean, it is a very important moment. Absolutely, Shiv.
That's exactly what this last little bit that I want to play out before I get Sushant for a final word is on what India's response would have been in case there was an escalation from Pakistan's side using ballistic missiles. Here's what Air Marshal Nagesh Kapoor says.
We would probably have gone for maybe some assets that could have caused some commercial disruption. Maybe power plants. Maybe.
Power plants and infrastructure things.
Maybe that would have been the next set of legitimate targets. Targets that were affecting their exact war fighting machinery. Might be. If we would have just continued on a little longer.
Sushant, this has been hinted at, but for the first time, out in public officially, bridges, power plants, infrastructure was basically what phase 3 would have been of India's response.
Yeah, I think it would have been something like more mixed kind of stuff, maybe a naval port or an airport, something like that. But remember one thing, Shiv, why this particular nugget of information becomes credible is go back to what the Prime Minister said. I think it's the Prime Minister or the External Affairs Minister who said that when J.D. Vance has called up the Prime Minister had told him very clearly that if the Pakistanis were going to up the ante, India would not back down. and India would go up the escalation ladder. So we were very clear what we are going to do. And the escalation dominance was being controlled by India. And clearly this particular nugget which the Air Marshal has given on your podcast, more or less confirmed. Now, what the targets would have been, I'm sure the Air Force and the armed forces have a list of targets prepped and ready. But just a word on that previous thing, about the Air Marshal saying that he lied to his chief. It's not really about lying. I think it tells you what leadership is all about.
Yeah, true.
Leadership of the Air Chief Marshal as well as the level of the the commanders. He has full faith on his commanders that whatever they're going to do, they're going to do. He's not micromanaging them. A larger strategic direction has been given. He knows what is underway. He doesn't want to be micromanaging at every step and undermining the confidence of his own commanders. That is fabulous leadership, both at the level of the Air Marshal as well as the level of the Air Chief Marshal, and of course the officers who carry out the mission. So I think that's yet an example of what leadership is all about. So all in all, brilliantly conducted operation and fabulously handled at the political level. The only one place where we screwed up big time was information warfare.
I agree with that, and that's the reason why it continues to be such a fascinating topic. And I hope more podcasts, more shows, more interviews, more documentaries will reveal even more layers of this.
थोड़े में ज्यादा स्वाद, यही तो है इसकी खास बात। वाओ मम्मा, क्या स्वाद है? अरे मेरे राजा,
सबका राजा आरती और मसाला।
प्योर शाही पनीर मसाला, डिलीशियस, हेल्दी एवरीडे।
What seems settled for me is unfinished business. So I rewind, I pause, I reflect, I dig until what's buried stands up to be counted. Breaking ground, not just headlines, the meaning behind them. This is Breaking Ground with me, Vedika Sood.
मीठा या नमकीन, चाहे जैसे खाओ, 100% सूजी से बनी आर प्योर वर्मिसली, स्वादिष्ट, सेहतमंद, हर रोज।
I'm in Ahmedabad's gift city today. From the lens of the regulator, how close do you think you are at this moment to achieving the dream of being Singapore, Hong Kong, New York or London when it comes to being an international center of finance?
What are global investors looking at? Policy stability, there's legal certainty, and there's also a tax certainty. In the last 5 years, the government of India has pretty much put in place all these things. Our regulations are now benchmarked to the best in the world.
Let's take the passporting of KYC, know your customer norms. Even that doesn't seem to be as easy as a lot of international bankers expect.
We are also doing a pilot for unassisted Aadhaar face authentication for NRIs.
You've seen this model operate internationally. How far has India been able to evolve with Gift City till this moment in time?
Started as a place for corporates, now wealth managers, individuals, private banking, a lot is happening.
Which are the instruments that you think that have now come up around Gift City in a way that people really need to know it, and if they don't, they're missing out?
Let's say you're going to travel. Why do you want to pay a markup on your money you spend out? Right? You should be able to spend directly from your bank account, and the bank account should be ideally able to recognize the currency.
चलिए, हमारे तो कुलचे आ गए, आप और मैं तो ये खा लेंगे, but all these international fancy pant HSBC type bankers, I doubt they'll be okay with these kulchas.
I agree with you that social infra बनते बनेगा. Speed काफी है बनने में. पहले तो ये कुलचे भी नहीं थे, अभी कुलचे तो बढ़िया आ गए हैं.
A world of questions. Ideas that challenge the ordinary. Conversations that connect countries and cultures. Where different worlds find common ground. NDTV World brings Nepal's ideas to the world. NDTV Anviksha, Ideas Across Borders. The Nepal Dialogue. 27th August, Kathmandu, Nepal.
Well, tracking more updates coming in at this hour. A video of a tourist confronting security personnel at a checkpoint in Kargil has now gone viral. The woman was left waiting near the mini-marg checkpost in Dras after local police stopped the travel on mini-marg Zorjila-Sonmarg road. The hold-up was due to travel restrictions in place on that stretch. And in that video, she can be heard arguing with the army personnel, saying in I quote that we are Gen Z, we will not tolerate this, telling them your salary comes from our taxes. The video has now received massive backlash online. Take a look.
We are Gen Zs. We are not tolerate this nonsense. We are not tolerate this nonsense. आप तो मुझे बताओ आप बैठोगे या नहीं बैठोगे? चलो चलो कैसे रोकेंगे? 5 घंटे हो गए, निकालो सब लोग गाड़ी और चलो. वो कश्मीर एयरपोर्ट पे नहीं उतरे. हम नहीं जाएंगे, किसी को जाने भी नहीं देंगे. हम लोग पैसे देके यहाँ घूमने आते हैं या फिर ये सब टॉलरेट करने आते हैं? ताला लगा दिया इन्होंने. कश्मीरियों के साथ तो करते हैं, अब बाहर के टूरिस्टों के साथ भी कर रहे हैं. देखो इन्होंने किसी ताला लगा दिया, अपना नाम भी नहीं बताया और वहां चले गए. ये देखो यहाँ पे कोई भी जवाबदारी के लिए कोई नहीं बैठा है. यहाँ पर यहाँ से कोई नहीं हिलेगा. आपको जो समझना है समझो. मैंने उकसाया. आपने उकसाया पब्लिक को. हाँ मैं ठीक है उकसाया. हम किसी को नहीं छोड़ेंगे. हमारे टैक्स से सबको सैलरी जाती है, हम इसीलिए टैक्स भरते हैं. ये लोग हमसे ऊपर हो गए. अब आपका जो भी हुआ था मैंने उसकी वीडियो बनाई. अगर पार्लियामेंट तक बात नहीं गई ना, मेरा नाम बदल देना.
Well, that was the video, and NDTV's managing editor Shiv Varur has now spoken to Captain Yashika Ijtiagi, the former army officer.
Hello and welcome. You're watching NDTV. I'm Gargi Rawat. Coming up ahead, the political row over Vande Mataram intensifying, the Congress reiterating its stand on the national song, while the Home Minister urges people to unite against the Congress's move. Also coming up ahead, the opposition hits out at saffronization of the NCRT in education. This after reports pointing to multiple RSS-linked members joining the team. We'll get you all the details. First, a look at the headlines we're tracking. Home Minister Amit Shah slams the Congress's Vande Mataram 2-stanza stand, calls the Congress anti-national, says insulting national song, and the nation is the Congress's only agenda. Amit Shah's huddle with the Southern Chief Minister. Tamil Nadu Chief Minister Vijay raises the NEET issue as well as questions over delimitation during the meeting with Amit Shah. DK Shivkumar raises the Mekadatu Dam issue. Sources tell NDTV Rahul Gandhi at the Congress Working Committee meeting targeted Prime Minister, stating that Modi is finished. He also said the Congress must stay aggressive. The NCRT reshuffles its political science textbook panel with reports pointing to multiple RSS-linked members joining the team. The opposition attacks the NCRT, says education institutes are being hijacked by the RSS. Former Tehelka editor-in-chief Tarun Tejpal has now moved the Supreme Court, challenging the Bombay High Court's verdict that upheld his conviction and 10-year prison sentence in the 2013 sexual assault case. And Harry and Meghan are reportedly heading back to Britain this month, 6 years after stepping away from royal duties and swapping palace life for California. All right, some breaking news coming in first. U.S. Ambassador Sergio Gore is in Leh. He is in Ladakh a day after his visit to Srinagar. So Sergio Gore is now in Leh. Remember, yesterday he was in Srinagar where he held a meeting with Omar Abdullah, and he also reiterated India's position on Jammu and Kashmir, saying the U.S. recognizes it's a very important part of India, that Jammu and Kashmir is an important part of India, and now he is there in Leh. He's visiting Ladakh after his his visit to Srinagar. So the US ambassador first was in Jammu and Kashmir. It was a high-profile visit that drew attention in New Delhi as well as Islamabad, especially after he described Jammu and Kashmir as an important part of India, which is, of course, India's reiterated stand for decades now. He also praised the government's steps in the region and indicated the US may re-evaluate its travel advisory. So now Sergio Gore is in Ladakh and he is there in Leh, and earlier there were some reports that he could possibly meet Tibetan spiritual leader Dalai Lama. We don't know if that is going to take place. An engagement was something that was being reported. All right, so the US ambassador Sergio Gore, who has been on something of a Bharat Darshan, he's been to various parts of India. In fact, in the last couple of days, in the last couple of weeks, and yesterday he was in Srinagar. That was a very high-profile visit. As we said, after a meeting with Omar Abdullah, he spoke about how Jammu and Kashmir is an important part of India. He praised the government's steps in the region and also indicated the United States may re-evaluate its travel advisory, which for years has warned Americans against visiting the region. So now Sergio Gore saying that travel advisory may be rethought. Let's go across to Aditya now for more. Aditya, what do we know about Sergio Gore's program in Leh? Is he going to be meeting with the Dalai Lama? It's a visit that China will be watching very, very closely.
Well, earlier this afternoon, Sergio Gore, the US ambassador to India, landed in Leh from Srinagar and in fact is currently at the Grand Dragon Hotel. That's one of the most prominent hotels in Leh. He's scheduled to have some kind of a meeting there with the local, communities out there at Sangam and different other areas, and possibly tomorrow he'll return to Delhi. But as of now, we are being told that the meeting that was scheduled with His Holiness Dalai Lama has been cancelled. I checked with the office of the Dalai Lama, who had requested US Embassy and Sergio Gore for a meeting which was scheduled earlier, but due to some reason it has been cancelled. Now, my understanding would be that because the BRICS summit is about to happen and the Chinese President Xi Jinping is scheduled to visit India, although yet not confirmed, that's why this kind of a meeting is not being held at this particular stage, because this would create a new flashpoint between India and China. And possibly that's the reason that this meeting currently has been cancelled and postponed. But Sergio Gore currently is in Leh. He's scheduled to have some meeting with the civil society out there. He was scheduled to meet the Lieutenant Governor as well, but the Lieutenant Governor is currently in Delhi to meet the Prime Minister. So the Lieutenant Governor possibly will not be able to meet. He has expressed his regret, but the officials from the administration will be meeting Sergio Gore and briefing him about the development work in Leh. Also, this comes a day after Sergio Gore made a very historic statement from the Kashmir Valley in Srinagar, where he said that Jammu and Kashmir is an important part of India. It's a very strategically important statement at a time of such geopolitical turnarounds in the region, especially after Operation Sindoor. Pakistan had summoned, the US Charge d'Affaires and top diplomat and protested this move and asked for an explanation. But certainly, it does seem like it's a big blow coming in for Asim Munir and Shehbaz Sharif, even as Sergio Gore continues with his visit first to Jammu and Kashmir and Leh currently.
All right, thanks so much, Aditya, for joining us with that. And yes, the 91-year-old Dalai Lama did extend his stay there in Leh, and that is the reason it created a lot of speculation. But as Aditya reports, that meeting will not happen with the US ambassador. So let's talk about the US ambassador's visit to Jammu and Kashmir, and now he's in Ladakh. He was in Jammu and Kashmir yesterday, making a high-profile visit that's drawn attention in New Delhi and Islamabad, especially after he described Jammu and Kashmir as an important part of India. He also praised the government steps in the region, indicating the US may re-evaluate its travel advisory. Congress welcomed Gore's remarks, saying Jammu and Kashmir is an integral part of India and that nobody needs to remind the country of this. Pakistan reacted sharply, summoning the top US diplomat and lodging a formal démarche over Gore's comments. This is the first visit by a top US diplomat to the Jammu and Kashmir region after Operation Sindoor.
Here knows I'm the U.S. ambassador to India, and this is an important part of India, and so I'm here visiting for the first time. It is an incredibly beautiful place, and so I'm thrilled to be here, thrilled to see this place. We just had a very good meeting, and we have some follow-ups that we hope to take back to Washington, back to Delhi. But a very warm, a very cordial, and we look forward to building this relationship forward. Last thing I'll share with you is the United States puts out travel warnings, and every so often we reevaluate those travel warnings. I cannot make any big announcements here today, but it is something we're going to look at. New Delhi, the Chief Minister here, the government here, we believe have made some incredible steps to keeping this area safer.
We know that it's very good that he's saying it, but this is something we have been insisting for a long time.
Kashmir is an integral part of India, and they must revalidate their, travel advisory. It's part of India, so US should realize.
देखो, जम्मू कश्मीर हिंदुस्तान का अटूट हिस्सा है, एक अंग है हिंदुस्तान, तो उसको हमें याद दिलाने की जरूरत नहीं है, किसी और को याद दिलाने की जरूरत नहीं है. हम लोग मानते हैं कि हमारा अटूट हिस्सा है.
Well, I mean, the visit is significant because this is the first time that we've had a U.S. ambassador travel there since Operation Sindoor. There have been previous U.S. ambassadors that have visited the region, but there has been some time. And I think particularly in light of the fact that the Trump administration has taken a bit of an unconventional approach to the issue in terms of President Trump repeatedly claiming that he mediated the ceasefire between India and Pakistan last year, and also given President Trump's comment last year that he would like to help the two sides, quote, find a solution to Kashmir. These are things that are very unusual for U.S. policy. So against that backdrop of an unconventional administration, I think it's notable that we have the U.S. ambassador traveling to Kashmir against that backdrop.
All right, some breaking news now coming in, and Rahul Gandhi speaking at an event marking Rajiv Gandhi's birth anniversary. He spoke against the RSS as well as the students' issue. He says, that is my problem with the RSS. They've decided that they know the truth of 1.5 billion people, and he says that, I say no, only the people can know their truth. Even I cannot do so. So he's attacking the RSS over claims that they know what 1.5 billion people want. He also went on to say that today the ideological battle in India is that it's not about environment, politics, free media, nothing. That is all superficial. The real fight, he says, is that a group of people have suddenly decided, because they have control of the system, they know the truth of everybody in the country. He goes on to say that when Mr. Narendra Modi says, I forgive the students, he says, meaning what? I know everything, you know nothing. And then suddenly Mohan Bhagwat says, no, we should not attack the students. Let's just listen into what Rahul Gandhi said as he was speaking at the Hara Bhara Swaraj event, a tribute to Rajiv Gandhi's vision.
What Gandhiji was saying was that every living being is a unique entity with his own path towards the truth. I cannot tell you what is your truth. That is my problem with the RSS. That RSS has decided